season in Vero Beach, Florida. But now Erickson and the defending national champions are back home at the Orange Bowl. They've had a week off since their Iowa win, when quarterback Gino Torretta cashed in his third career 400-plus passing day, aided by Horace Copeland's career-high 7 receptions. The 24-7 win was again spearheaded by the nation's fastest linebacking corps, headed by Michael Barrow, who hopes to celebrate another Canes win. Back in 1979, though, Florida A&M got to party after a thrilling 16-13 win at Tallahassee. And today, Coach Ken Riley hopes to use 2 quarterbacks to attack Miami. Keith Brown scrambled well and showed a strong arm in the Rattlers' opening win at Georgia Southern. But Tracy Weldon came off the bench last week to guide the Snakes to a big Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference win over South Carolina State. With their perfect 2-0 record and dreams of past glory, it's FAMU visiting Miami next on Sunshine. Sunshine Network presents University of Miami Hurricane Football. Brought to you by Coors Light. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now. And by Olive Garden Restaurants, where all the best of Italy is yours. To Miami, Florida, a city and an area recovering from Hurricane Andrew. And today, more than 65,000 fans will file into the Orange Bowl for the home opener for the #1 ranked Miami Hurricanes as they battle the Rattlers of Florida A&M. Hi, everybody. I'm Sam Smith, delighted to welcome you to our Sunshine Network coverage of Miami Hurricane football, the #1 team in the country. You know, preparing to start a new season as the #1 team is not hard enough. Then going through a hurricane makes it even that much tougher, having to train in Vero Beach for Dennis Erickson and the Canes. Today, non-perishable goods are being collected by the Canes to give to those less fortunate down south, particularly in the Homestead area. Also, 2,000 military personnel who have come to help have been invited to the game, along with 2,000 homeless children, all courtesy of the Canes, to watch the Canes against the Rattlers today. It's going to be a delightful season for me. If I'm going to throw something, I want these 2 guys to try to catch it. First of all, in the booth with me this year will be Nat Moore, the outstanding former receiver of the Miami Dolphins. And when you talk about #1 rankings, the Miami Hurricanes, they are really tough when they get to the Orange Bowl, Nat.
Yes, Sam, this is a team that just don't lose. They've won 45 straight games here at home. They've won 51 straight games against unranked opponents. And they're looking to be the first team in the history of college football to win 5 national championships in 10 years.
Well, that longest winning streak so far in college football of 19 is spearheaded by a guy by the name of Gino Torretta. And boy, his receivers, their eyes must light up when he drops into the pocket.
But Gino Torretta reminds you of a guy that also wears number 13, Dan Marino. He's got a big, strong arm. He throws the ball very well. He's basically a guy that don't make a lot of mistakes, which to win a national championship, that's what you've got to have, a guy at the helm that can get it done.
There was no doubt defense was one of the keys last year, allowing only 9 points per game, the best in the country. What a linebacking core they've got here, spearheaded by their All-American Darren Smith.
Everybody's All-American, and I can't miss pro prospect. He was a Dick Buckus finalist last year, and he is the leader of that defense. Last year, he led the team in tackles, and this year, he is the guy that will make sure that they are repeating national champions, I believe.
Ken Riley, the coach of Florida A&M, is a man who played in the NFL for 15 years, defensive back at Cincinnati. The only thing I saw he and Nat not do yesterday was bump up and down the field. Boys, he recruited some great offensive linemen, including their big center, Wally Williams, 300 pounds. They average 286 pounds per man. They'll need all of that to defend, of course, against their fine quarterback. And, of course, Tracy Weldon. They have to protect him today.
Well, those big guys got their work cut out for them today, but Tracy Weldon is the guy that came off the bench last week against South Carolina State and got the job done, was able to lead the Rattlers back to victory, and he must play well today. He's got a strong arm. He's also a kid that makes good decisions, and he can help this team have a chance today.
You know, FAMU's improved on their defense, allowing 100 yards less than they did last year. 333 last year, 223 this year. The addition of a big guy on the defensive line has helped.
Right, we're talking about number 93, Erwin Collier, big defensive end. That's a transfer from Alabama that has came in and solidified the defensive line position. He gets good push up front. He's a great pass rusher, and he must play well today if the Rattlers are going to have a chance.
Well, we'll be watching from high atop the Orange Bowl. A guy right down on the field to give us an inside of what's happening there is the man that caught Dan Marino's very first touchdown pass as a Miami Dolphin. We're talking about former tight end Joe Rose. Let's go down and get his feelings before kickoff today. Joe?
Well, one of the big stories, of course, today is Orange Blossom Classic Day, a big day for FAMU. They'll have some 18,000 fans here today, plus there'll be 69,000 in the game. Anyway, it's about 90 degrees down in the stadium, but it should be a big day for FAMU fans.
Joe, try to stay out of trouble down there, would you? We'll be ready for the kickoff. Again, the Rattlers of Florida A&M University invade the Orange Bowl against the #1 team in the country, the Miami Hurricanes, and kickoff straight ahead here on Sunshine Network.
At the Olive Garden Italian restaurant, we speak a different language. We have no words for can't and won't and impossible. No phrases for a little less or not too much. In fact, we don't know the meaning of enough. Some would say speaking a different language can make all the difference in the world. The Olive Garden Italian restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours.
The Miami Hurricanes. Nobody plays better than they do. And nobody covers the Canes better than Cane Sport. 21 times a year, Cane Sport takes you inside the locker room and inside the coaches' minds for the most comprehensive coverage anywhere. Each issue brings you complete game analysis, exciting action photos, and more. To order Cane Sport, call 1-800-635-CANE. Or by mail, send $31.95 to Cane Sport, Miami, Florida. Cane Sport. Don't miss an issue. Order now. Sunday's primetime sports lineup on Sunshine Network, Florida's best. Listen up, Miami Dolphin fan. It's time to air it out with your favorite gridiron heroes every Monday night on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Give them a call and see the game from their eyes.
I'm Paul Kennedy. The season's underway. This coming Monday, we'll review the game with the Rams and preview the Dolphins' trip to Seattle here on Sunshine.
Air it out with the pros who know on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine.
Live Monday night at 7 on Sunshine Network.
Well, as Joe Rose pointed out, it is a hot and warm afternoon here in Miami. Nearly 90 degrees at the Orange Bowl. Again, 65,000 plus expected to file in as the Canes go against FAMU. And you see Ken Riley on the left, very successful 7th year starting with the Rattlers. 39 wins, 27 losses, and 2 ties. The man on the other side, of course, is Dennis Erickson, the coach of the year last year, national championship, 2 in the last 3 years. Only he and Barry Switzer of Oklahoma were able to do that at the same school, win a couple of national titles in 3 years. So both these coaches have an outstanding opportunity to add to their win total this afternoon. Certainly, FAMU has a tougher time against the Hurricanes of Miami. Our officials today, you'll hear a lot from Buddy Ward, who will be our referee. Doc Graham, along with Bristol Martin. Those are the umpire and the linesman. The lines judge is Larry Hill. Robert Murray will be our field judge. Side judge is Charles Phillips. And the back judge will be Gary Dantzowitz. You can see some clouds that have been filing out over the top of the Orange Bowl all day. There's the official temperature of 87 degrees. Mostly cloudy with a humidity of 68. Yes, it's a sticky afternoon. 60-degree chance of rain. It looked like it was going to be even more than that. And there is a light easterly breeze coming out of the open end of the Orange Bowl. Well, we're ready to kick this thing off in Miami. We'll have back. It'll be Harris and Williams will be the 2 deep men. Actually, it'll be Spencer back there. We'll be back with Williams. Spencer number 35, Williams number 5. And kicking off will be Tim Cameron, kicking off for FAMU. He's ready, gets the approach, and here we are, the home opener for the Canes. 45 straight wins at home. They go for 46, and this will be Spencer. That's to the outside. Will not get back to the 20-yard line. Good pursuit by the Rattlers. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Canes. And Gino Torretta, what a great career he's already had. After a 16-yard return by Spencer, he'll go to work 1st and 10 for the Hurricanes. He has so far 31 out of 51 for 433 yards against Iowa. Taking a look at the men who'll be in the backfield with Torretta today. It'll be Donnell Bennett will be starting at the fullback. Tailback will be Kevin Williams. Lamar Thomas will be one of the split receivers, along with Horace Copeland and Coleman Bell. And up front, this is the makeshift line they've got today, including Carlos Etheridge, who is a converted tight end, moving to a tackle. He'll be going here on the front line for the Canes. 1st and 10, again at the 19. Torretta with a quick give. It goes to Bennett, streaks to the outside, battles his way out of bounds at about the 24. And that's what you'll try to see the Canes do today, is they'll try to keep it as balanced as they can to set up that passing game that they, of course, are so great in having the opportunity to do, as Darrell Smith knocks him out of bounds. Defensively for the Rattlers today, they've got a good front down 3, and they'll play a 3-4 on you and do a good job. You heard in the opening Erwin Collier, one of the down linemen, and there he is. Will be joined by Lampkin and Green. Green, a former linebacker. And we'll talk about the linebackers and others as the handoff goes up the middle again. And the Canes trying to establish the running game, and this is not too much from what we expected Miami to do. As you see the linebackers that'll try to stop them, Williams, Connor, Daniels, those two in the middle are good ones, and Stockton. And the deep backs, they may have their trouble before the afternoon is long, but one of them is an outstanding deep back. His name is William Carroll is the deep back for the Rattlers. He's joined back there by Smith, along with Riley and Taylor on the corners. 3rd down, short yardage needs 2 here for Miami. Gino Torretta, lone running back, a Bennett behind him. He gets again, and Donnell fights his way for the 1st and 10 to the 31-yard line. And that, again, as we pointed out, established the running game to set up the passing game here for the Hurricanes.
In the first game, Coach Erickson talked about their inability to run the football, and he wanted to come out today and establish the running game and basically get better. He talked about his team has to get better each week, and I think that from talking to him, his main thing this game was to get his running game going and then mix in the pass.
Well, one of those defensive backs is Ken Riley II. Yes, that is the son of head coach Ken Riley for FAMU. As Torretta has his ball club 1st and 10. Again, the line of scrimmage just outside the 31. He's back for his first pass of the day. It's going to be incomplete. As a matter of fact, Spencer was the intended receiver, looked back over his shoulder, and the ball just kind of came out of nowhere. Taylor was the closest man, really, to picking that ball off.
Well, I think the ball was slightly deflected there. It looked like it was an errant pass, got deflected, and Taylor had a chance of coming up with the interception.
Torretta, who threw 51 passes, a career high. We talked about that strong arm. That's on his ring. It was tapped. Good call.
Looked like number 48.
Bruce Daniels. There's Torretta for his career. How about those numbers? Over 5,000 yards passing, and a long list of great quarterbacks at Miami. Flag is down as Torretta almost slips as he throws. This one is complete. And dropping with the ball immediately after the catch is Copeland. But again, a flag is down. Eric Dixon was the man that was back to make the defense. But let's check out the flag on the line of scrimmage. Copeland had himself a good game against Iowa. 7 catches for 89. As again, our referee working today's football game is Buddy Ward. And he'll be the 3rd man, actually the 4th man, with Joe Rose down there as well, working on the mics today for us on Sunshine. And it is a penalty to be stepped off here against Miami after the completion of the pass, certainly against the Rattlers. Well, they've got a great group of receivers. Copeland just one of many here.
Well, you're talking about 8 and 9 great receivers. The ruthless posse, as they term themselves, as well as the Afros. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the telecast.
Copeland again getting open in the secondary. Something will be well tested is Torretta. After the step on to 2nd down, and they'll need 15 here. He's back to throw. In and out of the hands of Spencer, the intended receiver. Back there is Derek Dixon again out of Fort Myers, Riverdale, but that one was just simply dropped by Spencer.
I think he tried to run with it before he got his hands on it. A big game like this, you want to get off to a good start. And if we look at the instant replay here, you see him going a crossing route. Ball hits him right in the hands, and he just didn't get his hands down on it and look it in.
They had the Rattlers in the man-for-man coverage, and that could be a tough, long afternoon for the Rattlers if they do that all day. 3rd down, still 15 for the Canes. Opening quarter, 13:25. Canes and Rattlers scoreless. Gino Toretta calling the signals. Bennett is the lone running back. Toretta into the pocket. Gets pressure from behind. He's throwing for Copeland over his head and incomplete out of bounds. So they'll get the first punt of the afternoon, and Paul Schneider will come on to kick it away. A transfer coming from Saddleback Junior College, a Californian who is matriculated here to Miami to do the kicking here. And there you see the numbers, averaging nearly 38 yards per punt. His longest 55, and that came last week against Iowa. And the lone receiver is back deep for the Rattlers, and will wait for the punt from Snyder. And a catch by Bridges as May fumbles the football, and big scramble, but Bridges got right on top of it. Almost a mistake for the Rattlers. They get excellent field position after a 39-yard punt by Schneider. So it was going to be a toss-up between Brown and Weldon as the two starters, and Weldon got the call today. You see his numbers, 8 of 18 for 99 yards against South Carolina State. In his backfield, look for an outstanding running back. Chuck Duffy can do it with the best. Reddick, the receivers, look for Mickens to be the man they look for, and Fan and Thurman, the other receivers. And on the front line, 286-pound strong average. Wally Williams at 300, the outstanding center All-American in the middle. One thing they told us, Nat, before this ball game, particularly Miami, is to look for maybe something tricky here by the Rattlers coming out quick to try to get them off balance here as an injured player is being attended to here. No, excuse me, it's a chain. I'm sorry.
FAMU has nothing to lose today, and Coach Erickson really felt that they would come out and throw the kitchen sink at them today to try and get off to a fast start. And if they're able to get off to a fast start, they can make this a real ball game, and that's what they're looking forward to do.
Kind of glad that the chain crew is not the trainers. It's Dennis Erickson waiting cautiously looking on. Dennis, of course, with that fine record overall. Spent 1 year at Wyoming, a couple of years at Washington State just prior to coming here, and also spent 3 years at Idaho, where he had 2 Division I AA playoff teams. So he's well aware of what the one AA system is all about, particularly with FAMU, who's already gone in to beat Georgia Southern at their place, one of the perennial champions they've had, and then a big win in their own conference against South Carolina State last year. So he's well aware of what to expect in Division I AA football. Other side, Ken Riley. This is a man that I guess quite obviously is kind of toiled in anonymity right now. He's a man that they know what he can do. He was asked by David Shula to come up as the secondary coach when he took over at Cincinnati. He said, hey, I'd like to be the defensive coordinator if I come. He didn't get that offer. He's got a son playing there. His daughter goes to school. He said, hey, they sacrificed for me for 15 years. I'm going to sacrifice for them and then let the chips fall where they may. Very likable guy, Ken Riley.
He's a true gentleman as well as a great coach. And he's done a tremendous job of turning that FAMU program around.
Well, let's see what the defense of Miami can do against Casey Weldon and the Rattlers with their 1st and 10, their first possession after the chains have been corrected. And the first give of the day. They go straight ahead, and you can see that swarming defense by the Canes. No place to run to. Leading the charge against Chuck Duffy is going to be Patrick Riley. Riley 6'6", 270. 5 tackles in the Iowa game. And look how they swarm here, Matt.
The defense just does a great job of getting off the ball here. And as you can see, Patrick Riley comes around, and he's the lead tackler, but you're talking about a whole host of Hurricanes.
So the Hurricanes with Darren Smith getting to celebrate. A hold them for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Gives it off to Duffy, trying to get outside of Smith. Does turn the corner. Michael Barrow make the catch at about the 40, or the tackle, excuse me, about the 41-yard line. A gain on the play of about 5 yards. And these are the guys that'll try to stop him up front. Crine, Riley, Caesar. They need a good game out of him. And Rusty Medeiros, we'll talk more about him. He's a great one. Smith, Barrow, and Armstead. The slowest man, 4.6 in the 40 there. Wow. In the secondary, Siegler, along with Greer, Harris, and the only man returning in the secondary, Ryan McNeil. So they will be well tested. Good passing game here for the Rattlers, which we'll see before the day is over. Single running back. 3rd down, 5 yards to go for the Rattlers. Makes the handoff to Duffy. This is Weldon, knocked in the air, almost intercepted. Back there is McNeil. He was really upset. He led the team with 5 intercepts last year. He and Smith were both back to get a shot at that one, but talk about throwing it on a string. That time, Weldon really threw a bullet pass, but not cut. And it brings up a 4th down play.
As we go back and look at the slow-mo, you see Weldon steps up. He gets a lot of zip on the ball, but You see, Ryan McNeil does a great job of reading the quarterback and breaking on the football. And came close to coming up with the interception.
Williams is back. This, by the way, is not Wally Williams. They have a new kicker in number 33, Barry Brown, a freshman from Jacksonville. The defensive back will do the punting. And he kicks to Williams. Williams will field it a line driver, then fumbles the ball. And he will be got for a loss as he picked it up at about the 22 and retreats back into the 16. So the Canes will take over, but again, a new punter. After a 40-yard punt by Barry Brown, it'll be the Canes, their second possession. No score, 0-0 at the Orange Bowl.
At the Olive Garden Italian restaurant, we speak a different language. We have no words for can't. And won't. And impossible. No phrases for a little less. Or not too much. In fact, we don't know the meaning of enough. Some would say speaking a different language can make all the difference in the world. The Olive Garden Italian restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours.
The reason Robert isn't leaving is not because he doesn't want to be beaten on the basketball court. It's because he doesn't want to be beaten at home.
Well, no scores. We're early on here in the first quarter of our ball game from the Orange Bowl here in Miami. Other games in the Big East, Virginia Tech at Temple. Maryland will play at West Virginia as the Mountaineers try to get going. Navy at Boston College. Ohio State at Syracuse. What a mammoth game that's going to be, too. Ranked in the top 20. Greg Smith, you see the offensive line coach and the assistant head coach alongside of Dennis Erickson on the second possession of the day for the Hurricanes of Miami. They got one first down in the last drive on the opening kickoff. Let's see what Toretta can do. And again, Bennett is a lone running back. Toretta will not waste time running this time, and he's going for Copeland. Did he have it? No, out of bounds. Just stepped out of bounds as he made the reception, and he's a little hopping mad. He didn't get there in time.
Well, he ran a good route. He got open. Gino put the ball up, and they had it, but they really need to try and throw it a little bit more inside, but Gino's trying to keep it away from William Carroll, who's that great All-American free safety from FAMU. But this is just great concentration here. Looks the ball into his hands. He just needed a 1 yard more.
Yep. So it brings up a second down and 10 for Miami. Clock stopped at 11:20 to go. And off to the right side. Gained some yardage over to the 32-yard line, and I believe that's going to be Larry Jones who had checked in for Bennett and gets it out over the 32-yard line, 32-yard line for a 12-yard gain. Lee Green is the man who came in, and indeed Larry Jones, the MVP of the Orange Bowl, gets the carry.
Offensive line does a great job of blocking at the point of attack. You see Barber coming through there, and then Larry Jones just running tough. He's a big, strong fullback that was MVP of last year's Orange Bowl game.
Young man who was recruited right out of Gainesville, right up and under the nose of the Gators. Something they're still smarting about. And again, 144 yards for a new Miami record in a bowl game against Nebraska last year. Toretta with a first down after the run. Thorne complete. Coleman Bell, the tight end. He garnered 115 yards last week against Iowa. Gets his first catch of the day. Derek Dixon reels him in after an 8-yard gain. Front line doing a good job is again Gino Toretta.
Gino has great protection, and he steps up what all good quarterback does, and he finds Coleman Bell, who has really come on as a great pass receiver and not just a good blocking tight end.
By the way, with Derek Dixon in the ball game, they are playing 5 defensive backs in there, trying to stop this passing game now. As again, Taylor and Dixon are both playing, and here comes Toretta airing it out. And it's going to be complete down at the 8-yard line. And Taylor is going to finally catch up with Spencer, who makes the catch on the run, and that's what the Canes can do. 51 yards. Toretta going to Spencer, and the Canes are in business inside the 10 of the Rattlers, and the fans love it at the Orange Bowl.
Well, the Hurricanes catch the Rattlers in a blitz here. You'll see 48 coming up strong, and he's right in Gino's face as Gino's letting the ball go, but this is just a great throw and catch and good execution.
So first and goal to go for Miami. First scoring threat by the ball club. Again, the Canes with 1 first down and then a punt. No first downs and a punt for the Rattlers. Now the Canes have mounted an attack. Toretta with Jones, the running back. And it cuts inside to the 4-yard line. Middle linebacker Bruce Daniels out of Valdosta, Georgia. 6'1", 225. He and Ian Connor from Kissimmee, Florida, are just outstanding inside linebackers, both good size.
Here's Jones just busting up through there and very low at the point of attack. Got his weight forward. 3-4 yard gain on something that should have been a 1-yard gain.
Great lower body strength by Larry Jones. You saw the 235 weight that he carries very, very well with his speed. Toretta checking off at the line of scrimmage. Second and goal. The hand to Jones. He's met right at the line of scrimmage, but that good, strong force gets him down to the 2-yard line. Oh, right in the middle of the line again, Daniels, and Connor came to his help, but not enough as Jones now will bring up a 3rd down and goal at the 2-yard line.
Here we have Larry Jones coming through the middle, but you got Bruce Daniels making good contact, good and low, gets up under the pads and drives him back instead of letting him fall forward for the touchdown.
2 tight ends set now for the Hurricanes as they got a 3rd and goal just inside the 2. Bennett and Jones are the running back. It's Jones, paddles to the goal line, but he does not make it. Oh, what an effort here by the Rattlers of Florida A&M as Darrell Smith, their strong safety, who had 15 tackles so far this year, comes up and makes the stop.
All right. Did a great job of coming off the corner and getting there before the runner can take off.
So as the Rattlers stack up the Canes at the 1, ball inside the 1, about the nose of the football away from scoring. By the way, the marching 100 of Florida A&M, their fine, renowned band, cheering them on in that end zone, and the Canes are going for it, 4th and goal. Again, Jones is the deep back. Jones gets it, goal line, touchdown, Miami. So Larry Jones, who not only was the MVP of the Orange Bowl against Nebraska, but scored the winning touchdown against Florida State last year and moved them into number 1, has scored the opening drive for the Canes here this afternoon, and it was still tough to get there.
Well, you had a great battle in the trenches there, and Larry Jones' ability to run tough was the difference there.
Game through it with a point after. It's up. It's good out of a Paul Snyder hole. And the Canes have jumped out to a 7-0 lead. 7:26 to go. They lead the Rattlers 7-0.
No one has money to burn, especially not today.
Right after it was a year, the defroster thing went on it.
The car was very good for the first 40 or 50,000 miles, and since then I've really had a lot of trouble.
That's where Consumer Reports comes in. It can save you hundreds or thousands of dollars on stereo systems, microwave ovens, or minivans. Hi, I'm Bob Knoll, head of auto testing for Consumer Reports, the magazine that works for you. We can show you how you could save $2,000 or more on car insurance, how you could save $3,000 next time you buy a new car.
It's one of the very few objective sources of information you can get.
Everybody needs an edge. Call now for your trial issue of Consumer Reports. If you like it, you'll get 12 more issues, including the 1993 buying guide, all for just $22. Or write cancel on the bill, return it, and owe nothing. You'll also get the 1992 buying guide free with your paid subscription.
So call for your trial issue now.
Call 1-800-652-2112.
Uncomfortable pressure or pain in your chest lasting more than a few minutes with lightheadedness, sweating, or shortness of breath may mean a heart attack. Don't wait. Call your emergency medical service. You can help prevent heart disease. We can tell you how.
The Canes going for their 46th consecutive win at home. Lead Florida A&M 7-0 here in the first quarter as Larry Jones takes it in for the initial score of the afternoon for either ball club. And now the Canes get ready. A new kicker, replacing, of course, Carlos Huerta from a year ago. That's Dane Pruitt. Getting ready to kick off. Simpkin will be back with Bridges. That's a two-deep man. Be a short kick coming to the far side. To the 10. Here comes the reverse. They're trying to get the ball to Bell. Bell has it, fumbles the ball, and loses it out of bounds. Well, they set that up awfully nicely. As a matter of fact, the new return man that we saw a number on, that's Thaddeus Cockrow, number 24, was the man that took the initial kick, handed it off to Bell, and Bell had some opening up the far sideline. That had possibilities.
Rattlers were trying to take advantage of the Hurricanes' aggressiveness there, and they had it set up, had the walls and everything going for him, and he just fumbled the football.
Here's another look at that touchdown, and that's just power football straight ahead for Jones.
Power football at its best. Jones running low and hard, but the Rattlers doing a great job of just not letting it become an easy score.
They went 80 yards in 8 plays, covered 4 minutes and 2 seconds of the first quarter, as it's 1st and 10 for the Rattlers. Quick lookout pass comes to the near side of James Thurman. Thurman out of Bartow, Florida, carries it up near the 25-yard line, and I'm always amazed when you see the Hurricane defense how quickly they swarm to the ball. That time coming up was Armstead, one of those fine linebackers, and watch after Thurman catches this net.
This is just a quick screen with a good move to the outside, and then get that field with a blocker out front. You know, the one thing that you got to have with receivers is guys blocking for each other downfield and take small gains and turn them into big gains and sometimes touchdowns.
Well, they've got Thurman and Meekin certainly to do that. It's a 2nd down, and they'll need 2 yards to go after a gain of 8. And on straight ahead. Oh, hustling for the football at the 30-yard line as they carry it out. Duffy trying to get some more running room. He by the long, along with Reddick, will be their 2 main running backs this afternoon. As Darren Smith, you will hear Smith, Barrow, and Armstead, 3 outstanding linebackers, probably making, what, 75-80% of their tackles today for Miami?
At least. Talking with Coach Sonny Lovett, he felt that these were probably the 3 best football players on their defensive unit.
Smith, the All-American, we already told you about at the top of the show. Michael Barrow, they call the leader, and of course, Armstead, highly recruited out of Dallas. Carter has been plagued by injuries. Back to throw is Weldon. He lets it fly. He's got a man deep. It's going to be over Mickens' head and out of bounds. That would have been a tough one for either he or the defender back in this situation. Sigler to make the catch there.
Let's take a look at the pass rush here. You've got Caesar coming around trying to spin out, and then just as he's letting the ball go, he gets hit by big number 91, Mr. Crane.
Like Caesar, by the way, who is now wearing number 99 in honor, of course, of the former Miami Hurricane player. And, of course, would be Jerome Brown, who wore 98, but, of course, Medeiros has that. Brown wore 99 before getting killed as a Philadelphia Eagle. They've already armed him there. Weldon with a bad snap, but he makes something out of it as he goes straight ahead for a couple of yards. Well, that had earmarks of being an ugly play as Kenny Lopez was right on top of him. Medeiros has helmet off as if he got struck in the face there. The rancher from Ozark, Missouri, and he's a little uptight.
Yeah, I think he got hit in the mouth there and seems to be a little upset. Anytime a good-looking guy like Rusty gets his teeth and face misused. Let's go back and take a look and see if we can see what happened here. Looked like it was a quarterback draw all the way, but Kenny Lopez did a good job of pushing the center back and stopping the play before it really got started to develop.
By the way, you'll probably not see Kevin Patrick today, still nursing that sore shoulder, number 86, but you will see a lot of Lopez. Warren Sept, number 76, is going to get a lot of play, as will Damon Bethel. So those will be the 3 that will alternate with Caesar, Medeiros, Riley, and Prime in the front line for the Canes. 3rd down. Still 7 to go here for the Rattlers as this is Weldon rolling the throw. Under pressure throws. Thurman has it. It is a catch. It is 1st down for the Rattlers. What a nice throw by Weldon under a lot of pressure, and a good catch by Thurman on the sideline. His Kenny Lopez with the pressure straight up the middle. And again, good scrambling that time by Weldon getting out of the pocket. And Thurman, who we made mention, with an outstanding receiver, 5 for 40.
Well, here you see they're just trying to find a hole in the zone. You've got the one receiver clearing out, and then the other receiver breaking out, which is James Thurman. Does a great job of getting one feet down. I keep forgetting from being an old pro football player that you only have to have one down in college. But did a good job of getting that front foot down.
Well, we saw your ballet act a lot of times with the Dolphins. 1st and 10 for the Rattlers now. Weldon under pressure throws that one in the dirt. McNeil got it on the first hop. Was intended for their wide receiver, Chad Fan, a transfer out of Ole Miss and a player out of Jacksonville, Florida. This has been a good addition. They're throwing to him a lot better.
Once again, the Hurricanes are getting big push up front, and here you see Cesar coming free, and I don't think Tracy Weldon's going to like this, taking that hit every time he turns the ball loose.
2nd down and 10 yards to go, just shy of midfield at the 48-yard line for the Rattlers. This is their 2nd possession of the day and their best drive, obviously. With 5:22 to go in the opening quarter, 7-0 Miami. Weldon back to throw. Here comes the rush, and he's smothered under. Riley was the first man to reach him, number 43, and then he gets up from Cry, number 91, as they come straight ahead and make the stop and the loss all the way back inside the 35, a loss of 13 yards for the Rattlers, and that hurts.
Once again, you'll see that the defensive line is just beating the Rattlers' offensive line off the football. And once again, you've got Bethel, you've got Riley, you've got that entire defensive front four on the quarterback.
4:45 to go in the period, and now a big 3rd down play, and almost a road mat needed here. 22 yards to be exact for the Rattlers. Again, back at their own 34-yard line after the 13-yard loss. Weldon again being chased down. Throws under pressure. That'll be up for grabs and out of bounds as Armstead had a shot at it. If he could have got upfield a little more, as Patrick Riley was the man to put the pressure on. And another man coming up was Damon Bethel from the opposite side. So welcome to big-time football to Tracy Weldon as he gets big-time pressure.
Well, Damon Bethel is the guy that really makes this play here, because they had the screen set up and he smelled it out and was able to get over there and stop the play before it developed.
Barry Brown, again the freshman from Jacksonville, number 33, replacing the center, Wally Williams, the 300-pounder who has a bad ankle, punting this afternoon. Williams hurt the ankle against South Carolina State. Brown again, a line driver, goes to Williams. Williams at his own 25, gets a cut at the 30, to the 40, cuts to the outside. Look out, things are going to happen now. Williams to the near side, gets a block there, finally knocked off his feet at the 45-yard line. A flag is down back behind the play. Paul White was trying to throw a block in front of him. There's one thing about Williams, he does make things happen here.
Very exciting and elusive runner that you have to wonder, where is he going to be next?
By the return team.
So it's got to be holding against the Hurricanes behind the play after Williams had a 17-yard return off that 40-yard punt, but it's going to be stepped back off. We'll be back right after this timeout. Again, 7-0 Miami.
Wouldn't it be great if you could afford a luxurious mansion? For you and all your friends? Of course, the place needed some updates, like a bowling alley and a pool table. Naturally, you'd have an open house.
Food, dear!
With beer!
Harold, do something!
Icy, cold-filtered Keystone, Keystone Light, and Keystone Dry. Bottle beer tasting a chance. Now, wouldn't that be great?
Hi, I'm Joe Torre. My professional life is baseball. My home life is my wife and daughter. Because of them, I'm helping to fight a terrible disease called lupus that threatens mostly women. Lupus strikes over 50,000 women a year. It destroys their immune system so that the body attacks itself organ by organ. Lupus can start as early as 14 years of age and throughout the childbearing years. Early diagnosis of its symptoms is important. Send for our free booklet, 11 Quiet Alarms, that describes these symptoms. Help support the Lupus Research Institute to find a cure and protect your family against lupus. Write the Lupus Research Institute, P.O. Box 838. That's P.O. Box 838, South Norwalk, Connecticut, 06854. Or call 1-800-82-LUPUS. That's 1-800-82-LUPUS. 1-800-82-LUPUS. Call now.
Miami Hurricanes enjoying a 7-0 lead on Florida A&M in their home opener. By the way, their home winning streak of 45 straight includes 3 Orange Bowl games and a record 57 straight home games won by Alabama. 1963 to 82 stands as the all-time record, and the Canes would love to try to have a shot at that. Toretta with a 1st and 10 after a electrifying return. Knocked off a little bit by the illegal blocking. Here's a quick pitch outside to Bennett. Bennett battles his way up the sideline, and we can start seeing even more of the versatility of this Canes offense. They're throwing to backs, they throw to receivers, 9-yard gain, they'll be up 2nd and 1. Well, the Miami Hurricanes have been a very dominant team. We're talking about posting their 3rd undefeated record in school history. The other 2 being in 26 and in 87. You got to go back a long time. 2nd national championship last 3 years. 3rd in the last 5, and unprecedented 6th straight year finishing 1st, 2nd, or 3rd in the AP poll. Dominant football. Fast track here at Miami. Bennett's going to do it all as he catches a pass for 9 yards, gains 2 for the 1st down out to the 41-yard line of Miami. Bennett, who carried 7 times for 35 yards, 15 being his longest against Iowa, getting a start ahead of Larry Jones. Also, we understand Stephen McGuire may get some play time back at that running back spot tonight.
Well, Stephen is expected to play some today. They'd like to try and get him a quarter just to get him hit, build his confidence level back up so that he'll be ready as they get into the thick of the season.
Lee Green, a converted linebacker who literally ate himself to a down lineman at 250, gained over 25 pounds, made the stop for FAMU. Here's Toretta rolling to the left. Look at this arm as he throws it up the far sideline, having to wait for the ball, and a jump ball, and Copeland is there. There's a flag down. Jump ball with Copeland along with William Carroll, and also Dixon were back there for the Rattlers, and let's see what the flag is back downfield. See the referee strolling back. Buddy Ward. Going to bring it all the way back to the line of scrimmage. Pretty good jump ball down there, though. Is Copeland an excellent jumper? But apparently William Carroll did a better job to knock that one away.
Well, they threw into double coverage. William Carroll sitting back playing center field and just reading the quarterback. And with Gino rolling to the left, he was able to just play the quarterback and break on the ball.
Pass interference against the defense. Pass interference against the offense. Offset.
Wow, interesting.
That's called no play. Let's do it over.
That's right, no blood. You can see the jump off Copeland with a little push there. He and Dixon have been tangled up for a moment, and then you see William Carroll getting into the act. Carroll, by the way, is only a couple of interceptions away for Ken Riley and the Rattlers of becoming the all-time intercept leader for the Rattlers. Curtis Parnell accomplishing that feat back in the 70s for the Rattlers, as Toretta will now have still a 1st down and 10 to go. Toretta in his 51 passes, completed 31. After 143 consecutive passes without an intercept, he got one intercepted at Iowa. Here's Williams on a little reverse. Track tries to make something out of it, and we have the feeling that they have got Williams pretty well schooled as far as looking at the films of what he can do. He loses 5 yards here.
Well, I think they're trying to keep everybody at home. Everybody's just playing solid defense, taking care of their responsibility at first. And if you do that, then you've got a chance. And what they're doing is they know that if they chase, William will come back the other way. So they're telling them to stay home, and they're doing a good job of that.
Well, some of the guys, can you imagine how warm this must be in those fatigues sitting here in the Orange Bowl, nearly 90 degrees, but at some of the 2,000 military invited free of charge by the Canes to enjoy the game today. 2nd down and 10, Toretta, good protection. He's throwing over the middle for Thomas, in and out of his hands, and incomplete. Well, what a hit by Kenny Riley. Riley, the coach's son from Tallahassee, FAMU High School. You see him, number 1 there, 6 feet 170, a red shirt. In his freshman year, he's really come on strong as a sophomore.
Here's a good look at what the quarterback sees. He's trying to throw it up the middle, and Lamar Thomas is right there, and just here you see a big hit by Ken Riley, shaking the ball loose even though it had already been bobbled. And I remember when his dad used to hit me that way.
You said he didn't ever make any intercepts on you. He always did it on Bob Greasy. We'll talk about that in a moment. Here's the back of that third down. Coretta slipping and falling, but going incomplete. Copeland couldn't get that one. And, you know, they might check Coretta's shoes. He has gone back and slipped a couple of times. They may change his shoes here on this turf, the natural surface here at the Orange Bowl, because he has indeed gone back and slipped several times trying to get him free. Coretta going on the 3 of 9 for 69 yards so far this afternoon. Back Bridges to receive a Paul Snyder punt. On 4th down, fair catch is going to be called for by Bridges. This time, you may recall he fumbled the last one away.
Okay, guys, down here on the side, one of the adjustments needed to be made by the offensive line right now is to get the running game going and make the adjustments in pass protection. So that's what they're working on right now, is making the adjustments. They're blitzing some linebackers. They're talking about on the side right now.
Joe Rose working down on the fields with us. There you see him working on it on the near sideline. And by the way, Rudy Barber, number 60, is the son of Rudy Barber that played for the Miami Dolphins, a roommate of Larry Little for a while, a fine professional football player, late in 1968.
Real good football player. Played a little linebacker as well as offensive guard at times, but was one of the few players that came in that only stuck around for a year, but was good wherever he played.
May have been a clock violation here.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
False start by the Rattlers. Let's take a look and see. It looked like there was an offensive lineman jumping here. There you see it.
Yeah, we've got the big left tackle, Sept.
Jamie Brown.
Jamie Brown, yeah, Jamie Brown. You know, when you start looking at the Rattlers and looking at the Hurricanes, they both wear this orange and green, so it's going to take me a while being that I'm getting a little older now.
By the way, Brown, you saw him there, Miami Killian product. He's one of 3 Miami and Broward County starters of a dozen playing for the Rattlers. Brings up a first down and 15 now after the step off, and there's more motion. And you have a feeling that they're a little over anxious here. The Rattlers are trying to make something happen. Jumping off that time was David Morquay.
False start on the offense.
You know, one thing that Ken Riley told us, Ned, was the fact that they had recruited outstanding offensive linemen, something that's very tough to do, particularly in Florida, with Miami, Florida, and Florida State to do. There you see some of those numbers, 53 players on the Rattler team from the state of Florida and 12 from right here in South Florida.
Well, Dade County plays a great brand of football as well as the state of Florida, and this is one of the areas that Kenny believes are recruiting real highly.
Right now, their offense is going backward. Weldon trying to throw over to the far sideline and get it out of the hands of the intended receiver. And incomplete. Again, very quick thrower, kind of stepped up into the pocket that time and could not get the completion. Throwing out there for Jamie Bell. Bell is having to play a lot because Tyrone Davis was left at home with a bad ankle by Coach Kenny Riley. He was not able to make the trip, and Riley was very blunt. He said, hey, we've got some conference games. We're not going to take him to Miami on a bad wheel, having to perform against number 1 and losing for our conference play. So he's very honest about leaving Davis at home.
They want to come in here and look good, play well, but also realize that the importance of their season is in the MEAC.
A fumble. Lopez was on top of it, and it's a fumble recovery by Miami. So Weldon having trouble again with that snap from center and loses it after they've been going backwards offensively, and Lopez comes up with a fumble recovery for the Canes.
Here we see it's just a bad quarterback center exchange. He doesn't get the football. I think he pulls out a little bit there. But I tell you, one thing about the Rattlers and Kenny Riley is that he will make a quarterback move in a hurry. So Tracy Weldon either have to get it done or he'll be sitting on the pine. Keith Brown will be in there.
Well, one of the conks from Key West. Lopez with that fumble recovery puts Miami in business on the 24-yard line. You see only 3 of 9 so far, but 69 yards for Terrain. And off to the near sideline as they try to go right side to gain some yardage. Again, Jones, the running back. Gains on the play of 4 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 6. Dixon again. Well, I tell you what, he's going to be a tired young man. Derek Dixon for Fort Myers makes the stop. offensive front line, Lemelski, Vickers, Green, Barber, and Etheridge. Etheridge wearing number 68. A former tight end who, as a matter of fact, caught a pass for 5 yards against Iowa. It is now playing the weak side tackle and wearing number 68 this week for the Canes. Handoff is going to go nowhere this time. It right in the middle of the center of the line by the Rattlers. And there's that Collier young man, number 93, 6'4", 280 out of Jacksonville, makes the stop. Number 1 tackler with 29 so far this year.
Well, we talked about it earlier. For the Rattlers to play well and to have a chance, he's got to come up big. And here you see him getting into the backfield and making a big play.
Collier at 280 on the front line, joined by Lampkin at 270 and Green at 250. They are pale in comparison on their 3 down linemen to their offensive line, but good ones, particularly Collier, the transfer from Alabama. Third down play, Toretta, quick throw, Williams. He catches it at the 15, and as he does, he is level on the near sideline, and Taylor comes up, a young man from Northwestern High, right here in Miami, makes the stop, just short of a first down, being a 4th down, and a yard to go. So let's see what Miami elects to do here. As 7-0 score with only 19 seconds to go, and the clock now whirled back into motion at the end of the first quarter. Miami should get a final playoff before this ends, and it's a 4th downer. Bennett is the lone running back. 2 seconds left. Will he get it off? He does. Toretta just gets it off in top. Bennett to the 10. First down, Canes. They'll have a 1st and goal from about right at the 10-yard line. So not only did they get the 4th down play, but they get a 1st and goal to go for the Canes as the clock runs out to end the first quarter from the Orange Bowl. So the Hurricanes tested so far by the Rattlers and lead it by the score of 7-0 on a Larry Jones diving touchdown early in the first quarter. Again, 7-0. The Hurricanes lead the Rattlers in Miami. We'll be back after this timeout on Sunshine.
Come on, sweetheart.
Your first big snow, Joey. Here he comes.
Joey doesn't care that inside is the world's most energy-efficient furnace.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or that Carrier can save up to 40% annually on heating.
Look at him. He loves it.
All he cares about is how warm and comfy Carrier keeps it inside.
Hey, come on.
Joe?
If you care about energy efficiency and saving money, call your Carrier dealer.
Now, turn the knob, Joey.
Carrier, we're the inside guys.
The word is out. It's Gum Out. Today, car owners are learning to improve engine performance. It takes Gum Out fuel system cleaners. Gum Out's tough ingredients help eliminate hard starts, hesitations, and stalls. And there's Pennzoil quality in every product, which is why so many people know they can trust Gum Out. Gum Out, solutions to engine problems from the people at Pennzoil.
Gum Out Extra Fuel Injector Cleaner is available at Target stores.
This Thursday evening, we'll spend time with the youngest generation of the famed Wood brothers. Len and Eddie Wood join us from Stewart, Virginia this Thursday night.
Live Thursday night at 11 on Sunshine Network. Florida's high school heroes, the Saints top squad. Don't miss the action as today's prep stars lead their schools to victory. The high school football game of the week.
Sarasota and Manatee, Wednesday night at 8 on Sunshine Network.
Listen up, Miami Dolphin fan. It's time to air it out with your favorite gridiron heroes every Monday night on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Give them a call and see the game from their eyes.
I'm Paul Kennedy. The season's underway. This coming Monday, we'll review the game with the Rams and preview the Dolphins' trip to Seattle here on Sunshine.
Air it out with the pros who know on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine.
Live Monday night at 7 on Sunshine Network.
Miami 7-0 leaders over Miami. Sam Smith, Nat Marr, and Joe Rose as we reach you back to the Orange Bowl in Miami. It is a 1st and goal to go for the Canes at the 10-yard line as the Rattlers held almost for a 4th and goal situation before Jones got it in the last time. Let's see what they can do against the Canes, who spread the field. Wide receivers left and right are once again Williams and Spencer. Toretta back to throw. Over the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Bell, the tight end. Let's go down to Joe Rose. Joe?
Guys, I have Brian Blades from the Seattle Seahawks. He's been on injury reserve for 6 weeks. He's back home like so many of the UM professional football players. What do you think of the game so far, Brian? Well, I think the game's going along pretty good, but actually, I think UM has to put more points on the board to keep them #1 ranking. What brings so many of you guys home when you're hurt or whatever it can? A lot of you guys fly home for these games. Well, I think it's the close knit family we have at UM. You know, we love this sport, we love the school, so we just want to come back and give back to the community and let the players know that we're still loving them. Okay, back up to you guys.
Trips left with Harris along with Williams and Copeland. They throw to the opposite side. They go to Thomas. He dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami. The leader of the ruthless posse gets the pass from Gino Torretta, who picks up his 31st career touchdown pass. It goes to Lamar Thomas. The senior from Gainesville gets it in, and it's a 13-0 Miami lead.
Here we see him drive off, just a little turn-in route. Defensive back falls down, and Lamar turns upfield, and he shows a lot of great effort as he dives forward and throws the ball, stretches the ball out to get it into the end zone. Good individual effort.
A senior from Gainesville, who passed up an opportunity to take a professional chance to go to the NFL to stay with the Canes, is Dane Pruitt. We'll have to maybe back up as a flag is down.
False start on the offense.
So the Canes will back up 5. A lot of times on the extra point kicker says, well, I don't mind it. That gives me a little bit better level and angle to get the ball up a little better. So Pruitt will step back. Huerta could move back to the 50-yard line the way he was kicking for the Canes last year.
The kickers don't mind, but the coaches have nightmares.
The Orange Bowl, of course, nearly full as we look around, a seating capacity of 74,000, so we'll be well over that estimated 69, I think. The blow snap, Snyder's going to have to jump on it, and the Canes will not get a kick away after all. So Florida A&M has given up the touchdown, but the extra point goes awry. And with 14:49 to go here in the second period, it's Miami 13, the Rattlers nothing. We'll be back after this on Sunshine.
Fall in Florida means football. And in October, the season's in full swing on Sunshine. Kick off the month with coast-to-coast conference collisions from the ACC, Pac-10, SEC, Big 8, SWC, and more. The Canes are crying back-to-back, while the Noles are knocking them down with dominating D. Plus, you make the call on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Or for a change of pace, get on the Fast Track Thursday. Sunshine in October, a Florida tradition. It's the Anheuser-Busch Family Fitness Weekend, presented by Sports Authority. Be a part of the Bud Light Sprintman Triathlon, the Michelob Light Cool Summer Nights 5K, Bud Dry Inline Skate Series, or the Czech Sprint Kids Tri-Duathlons. The Family Fitness Weekend is coming to Orlando September 25th through 27th at SeaWorld. Your local Sports Authority has entry information, or call Exclusive Sports Marketing today. The Anheuser-Busch Family Fitness Weekend. Go for the gold.
This is where there is no local grocery. This is where there is no food to go home to. This is where the children go hungry. But thanks to an organization called CARE, this is also where millions who once faced starvation are now being fed. In his homeland of Africa, the NBA's Manute Bol has seen that a little care can make a world of difference.
Show that you care.
Well, as the crowd celebrates here at the Orange Bowl, 13-0 lead by the Hurricanes over the Rattlers. Florida A&M, and another look at that touchdown pass from Torretta to Thomas.
Just a simple turn in, and here you see that acrobatic effort of Lamar Thomas here. Good job of getting the ball in the end zone.
And Gino Torretta celebrates with his 31st career touchdown. He's tied for 6th in touchdown passes. With George Meyer, he just moves ahead of him now with that touchdown. And here's the kick coming to the near sideline. Cochran will not get there as the flag is up and the ball's out of bounds.
Kickoff, out of bounds, penalty, against the Hurricanes.
We have an illegal procedure on the kicking team.
It's interesting here at the Orange Bowl, the public address announcer was giving the infraction before the referee had officially given it on the field. A little jumping the gun there, but you heard the referee, Buddy Ward, finally get it. And they'll kick it again here for Miami. Back deep are Cockrell, number 24, and Bell, number 26. Normally, again, I mentioned Davis is their deep threat on the kickoff returns at home with a ankle. And now Florida A&M's a little undecided. That's exactly, they're going to take the ball to 35.
That's one of the options in college football, is that you can have him re-kick it, or you could take it to the 35. And missing a guy, a return specialist like Davis, that's a good move.
Yeah, you get excellent field position at the 35-yard line. Miami again going ahead 13-0 in this ball game. 6 plays, 23 yards after the fumble recovery. Took him only 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Again, Thomas with a 10-yard reception from Toretta, and a bad snap after a penalty of 5 yards negates the opportunity to get the extra point. Just a little under 15 minutes to go before halftime. You were in for a delightful treat at halftime. University of Miami band along with the Marching 100 from Florida A&M. Here comes the razzle-dazzle, and an option pass long down the field. They're throwing for Thurman, looking to the center, intercepted by Harris. Harris back there, 6'1", 190 out of Memphis, Tennessee, makes the intercept for the Canes as Thurman was the intended receiver as they tried the option pass, and Mosley's pass was up short and intercepted by Harris. Nice play as he played center field as a free safety all the way.
Yeah, he played it the way you would want your free safety to play it. As we look at the screen, you see a great job of setting this play up by the Rattlers. And they have him open, but being that Terrence Harris is back there doing what good center fielders do, comes up with the big interception.
By the way, you saw number 4, Paul White, in the lineup as you get a good look at Harris there from Memphis, the junior safety. When White is in the lineup, they call it their nickel defense, but they still only have 4 defensive backs because of the great speed of their linebackers. So it's kind of a deceptive nickel-back defense for Miami, as you saw number 4, White, in there, and Harris making the intercept. Toretta on a 1st and 10. Wide open over the middle. Coleman foul, and he hits it at the 41-yard line. Gain of 12 on the play. First down as Taylor makes the tackle for Florida A&M. Stephen McGuire expected to get some play time, and you see him there. He's ready to go. Knee surgery, 5'11", 215, the senior from Brooklyn, New York. And I watched him in practice the first few weeks before they had to move to Vero Beach. And boy, you talk about a man chomping at the bit to get back in the lineup, and here he is. Toretta with a 1st and 10. Back pedals to throw. It's complete to Copeland. Copeland at the 45-yard line. Florida A&M's defensive backs giving a lot of ground as Kenny Riley was there to make the stop. 15 more yards of the pass and run by Miami.
With the great deep threat of the Hurricane receivers, here you see Copeland coming off. You almost have to give ground as a defensive back, and then you've got big holes in that zone.
Back to McGuire. Let me make one final comment on him as we will have him back at the running back spot still. Coach Erickson made the point they wanted to play him, as Nat pointed out, 1 full quarter, not letting him come in and out of the entire ball game. So we may see McGuire here for just this, the second quarter, and may not see him at all in the second half. But don't be disturbed, because that's the way the game plan is for McGuire today. There's Toretta stumbling as he falls back, trying to throw the ball to Spencer. And that time I'm not so sure that Green didn't step on his feet. Let's go down to Joe Rose now. Joe?
Yeah, Sam, one thing FAMU continues to talk about, the coaching staff to the players, is pride and respect. You know how important this game is for the recruiting war. There's a lot of kids here today, considering where they're going to go to school for next year. It's very important to their program.
Well, you can imagine the Canes also had their share of recruits looking on in this very football-rich South Florida area. And again, it is packed here at the Orange Bowl. 2nd down and 10 now, still at the 45 for Miami. Here is McGuire with his first carry of the year. Gets to the line of scrimmage and finds his way forward for about 3 yards. Kenny Riley getting away a pretty good weight disadvantage, 170 to about 215. Just couldn't pull him down. Good effort by McGuire to gain a couple of yards out of it. Make it 3.
Here we get a look at Stephen McGuire's first carry back. He does a good job of trying to get back outside because everything was blocked up. He's moving around, but you still see the effort that made Stephen McGuire the great back that he was before the injury.
Well, he got injured in the Boston College game, replaced by Larry Jones, and of course the rest is history. But Jones being named the most valuable player of the Orange Bowl. Toretta with a 3rd down and 3. throwing. Nice catch by Coleman Bell, out of bounds at the 29-yard line, and that's enough for a first down for Miami. One nice thing about these receivers in the grasp of Lewis Salt Williams that time, you saw Coleman Bell. They've got tremendous hands for those receivers for Miami.
Coleman Bell was an excellent basketball player in high school, and he's a big man with little man skills. Got great hands. As you see, as you look at your screen, you'll see him coming across on a drag route. Toretta does a great job of firing the ball in there. He goes up and he catches it in his hands.
You get a good look at Coleman Bell from Tampa, Florida. There's Toretta this time. They try to keep the defense honest here as there's McGuire getting some good work running into Darrell Smith out of Plant City, the strong safety who finally is able to wrestle him in. Gets a little help getting his helmet squared back in.
Sam, I'm really impressed with McGuire up to this point.
Yeah.
He's carried the ball twice. He's ran tough, but he's made some good hard cuts, which is usually the problem when you come back off a knee injury. You're scared to make the cuts. You're scared to take the hits, and he's doing just a tremendous job of doing that.
You made a good point because he's cutting on that injured left knee as well. You see his career numbers, over 1,700 yards. Well, McGuire gets another call on a second down play. It'll be short of a first down by about 2. Dixon was finally going to bring him down, and well, if Erickson said if he's going to play one quarter, he's going to play a lot of the second quarter, and he is indeed. Third down and 2 for the Canes, again just outside the 25, the 26-yard line of the Rattlers. Rattlers 2-0, their best start ever under Coach Ken Riley in his 7th year with FAMU. Gino Toretta not having a real effective day throwing the football, but you can start to see that there's more weapons opening up. He's got trips right. Gives off to McGuire. He will not get the first down. They'll have another fourth down situation, this time at the 25. Blocking on that right side behind Rudy Barber, and they've got a load. We made mention of Collier right off the top at 6'4", 280. The transfer from Alabama, and he's a load to try to handle on that front line.
He's a tough guy to move out of there, but you know, Miami feels that they must establish a running game, so they're going to run at him from time to time just to keep him honest, so that they'll be able to step back and throw the football effectively as well.
Fourth down and 1. They've got Jones back in at the running back. The hand goes to Jones. He fights for the yardage, will not get it, then makes a second effort and gets close, but not enough. So on a fourth down play, this may be a big play for the Rattlers, as Daniels, the middle linebacker, was the first man to beat him, and Toretta not happy with that, and the penetration for the Rattlers, and their fans have something to cheer about here at the Orange Bowl. Nice defensive stand by F.
Very good defensive stand by A&M. You see that front wall of stuffing the run, getting penetration, coming up with the tackle.
We told you those two linebackers would be very active this afternoon. That's Connor and Daniels. 230 for Connor out of Kissimmee, 225 for Daniels out of Valdosta, Georgia. And they, along with Collier, have done some damage on that front line as now the Rattlers take over. They've got a 1st and 10 at their own 25. Again, Weldon stays in at the quarterback, but no place to run straight up the middle this time. Duffy trying to gain the yardage. Duffy, who gained nearly 1,000 yards in all-purpose running last year, is stopped by Mark Caesar, Newark, New Jersey, out of West Side High School. 6'2", 290.
Mark Caesar is the next big tackle, the next tackle that the Hurricanes expect to send to the pros, and now he's starting to come into his own. He's had his problems, but today he's showing you some of that promise that Dennis Harrison feels that the guy has.
Loss of a yard. Weldon with a quick look into Thurman, and then he is decked as he just gets a hand on the ball. That's Paul White. That's part of that nickel with only 4 defensive backs in there for Miami. Paul White, a super hitter out of Tampa, 5'9", 180. A junior will stick you. Boy, receivers don't like to do this now.
Yeah, this is just a tough throw to handle by Tracy Weldon, and he's got the receiver suspended up in the air, and Paul White comes in and puts the hat on him, and he's down. Hopefully, he's just got the wind knocked out of him.
Again, James Thurman, Bartow, Florida, 6'1", 192, senior redshirt. By the way, Ken Riley was the first Rhodes Scholar nominee at Florida A&M. The head coach, as you see, walking out to look after his young man Thurman. Thurman is the 2nd Rhodes Scholar nominee from Florida A&M. And he right now is thinking about anything but studies, I know, as he is on the pit of his back here at the Orange Bowl. as White really leveled him. That's got to be a frightening situation when you're extended that high and know you're going to get a shot.
Well, that's anytime you're suspended up in the air and you're out, you're stretched, your ribs are exposed, and you know that defensive back's coming in there and looking to put the hat on you. And the worst part about it, you're trying not to take your eyes off the football. But I tell you what, it takes a lot of guts.
Well, not only your ribs, but your whole life flashes in front of you. Let's go to Joe Rose downstairs. Joe?
Yeah, Sam and Nat, we just had an interesting thing. When Steve McGuire came out on that last series, the FAMU coaches were yelling. They knew they wanted to get him some carries today. They had read the paper all week and were prepared for it.
Well, as Ken Riley waits to see the condition of his fallen receiver, James Thurman, we've got a timeout on the field here at the Orange Bowl. 10:46 to go. Second quarter, 13-0 Canes.
The Hurricanes salute.
Hey, watch out! Oh, no! Uh-oh! Are nicks and scratches destroying your car's finish? Introducing Color Smart, the color-coordinated polish that makes nicks and scratches disappear. Look, to shine your shoes, you choose matching color polish. Color Smart works the same way. Just choose the color that matches your car. Not a car key! Use Color Smart White and those scratches disappear. Color Smart brings back any car's shine. Amazing! Don't spend hundreds on a new paint job. Now you can order Color Smart, the intelligent car polish, for only $19.95. Order now and we'll double the size of your bottle, an incredible 16 ounces. But wait, call within the next 10 minutes and we'll also include this triple bonus. Restore it, clear glass, and new car scent. A $20 value free. Order your Color Smart today.
Have your credit card ready and call 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order to the address on your screen. For faster delivery, call 1-800-652-2112.
Conference rivals collide on the top turf. TCU meets SMU in the SWC, or South Carolina battles Kentucky in the SEC. Live next Saturday on Sunshine.
Well, Hurricane fans, yeah, you know the fans are here today as they've got logos all over the place here, and the wave has started at the Orange Bowl. The Canes leading 13-0 over Florida A&M. A sun-drenched Orange Bowl. Florida A&M, the Rattlers, will get another opportunity with the football. They've got a 3rd down and 11. Thurman, by the way, was helped off the field to the sidelines. Got up rather quickly, so hopefully he'll be all right. Tracy Weldon, the quarterback, back to throw. The pursuit is on. Throws under pressure, short of the intended receiver. And again, great pressure coming from the front line. And again, Riley was the one that put it on him. For the front line for the Canes, brings up a 4th down. Well, in home openers, Miami 46-18-1 overall. However, they've won their last 6 in a row. You talk about dominance, 242-49. They've outscored their opponents. They can put a hurt on you here at the Orange Bowl. 4th down. Brown will be back for his 3rd punt of the day for the Rattlers. Williams will be looking into the west sun now and standing back at his own 40-yard line. Again, Brown replacing Wally Williams, who is their normal punter. High punt, well, won't get much distance. Williams won't have a chance to field this one. Takes a Miami bounce and is finally going to be downed at the 47-yard line. That will be in Rattler territory, and Miami gets excellent field position after only a 24-yard punt. Off the toe that time of the punter for FAMU. So let's see what Gino Torretta can dial in now. Again, he will be looking into the sun. The receivers now have the opportunity of looking back away from the sun, which could certainly help them as Thomas. Copeland goes split to the right. And in the slot will be Williams. As Torretta, passing yardage, 118 already today. He's throwing on 1st down. Ball's tipped. Looking for Williams. That ball was tipped by one of those active linebackers. May have been Connor. Daniels got his hand on one early in the game. Torretta trying to throw a low line drive that time to Williams over the middle. Well, when they use that trips right or trips left, that's a lot of problems for you defensively here now.
It puts a lot of pressure on the defense, and here you see him trying to get the ball to Williams and give him some running room, but Daniels does a great job of jumping up, knocking it down before the ball is got into Williams.
By the way, that was a second knockdown pass by middle linebacker Bruce Daniels. No running backs as they've got everybody out in the passing lanes, and here's Toretta throwing to Williams in the open field at the 40. Tries to juke away on the near sideline from Dixon, but nothing doing. And he'll be brought down right there at about the 39-yard line. They'll be short of the first down by a couple of yards.
Miami does a good job here. You've got good pass protection, but they're trying to isolate Williams out here one-on-one on Dixon, and Dixon just does a great job of not taking any of the fakes and staying at home, and he's able to strip the ball out, but fortunate enough, it bounced back up into Miami's hands.
Like that old basketball defensive drill. Watch the belt buckle. Somebody can't go anywhere without the belt buckle. Watch that. That's where he's going. Toretta. Naked reverse coming to the side, throwing. It's Harris at the 15, 10, knocked out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Jerome Harris, who they say came to the University of Miami in the mold, of course, of the thrill, Randall Hill. And the young man is knocked out of bounds by Dixon, and Harris takes it for a first and goal, 35 yards from Gino Toretta.
Well, FAMU now is starting to blitz almost every down, and they're getting isolation from one-on-one, and, you know, Coach Riley talked about the speed of his defense, but I don't think they can run with these receivers of Miami.
Well, Harris, just one of many, has come out of the ball game. Spencer has replaced him. It is Spencer along with Thomas and Copeland, the three wide receivers to the right. The lone running back behind him is McGuire. He gets it to the 5, inside to about the 2.5 yard line. And Stephen McGuire is finally stopped by Marcus Lampkin, young man from South Bay, Florida, 6'2", 270, a junior redshirt. But again, McGuire getting this second quarter and getting some good run time.
Here we have Tyrell Green coming off the ball, big number 51, getting a push, and does a good job of picking up the strong safety, Darrell Smith, giving McGuire room to run it from there.
Second down, goal to go, 2-yard line. Miami threatening to put more points on the board, leading 13-0. McGuire again, the lone running back. He gets the call, and he's nailed at the 4-yard line. Well, I tell you, the defensive line led in there also by the strong safety who was right up in the line of scrimmage, Darrell Smith, out of Plant City. Came in and stuck it to him before he could make the cut. So sure Smith doesn't come out of that a little rattled himself.
It's kind of tough running into a guy like McGuire, but he does a great job once again of just coming down the line of scrimmage and making the hit before McGuire gets started.
Well, you saw that good kind of support from the inside. Connor, number 44, was right there as well. Good look at Smith. Strong safety. Now out to the left side as time is stopped. FAMU may have called a timeout here. They do. So FAMU calls a timeout with 7:59 to go before halftime. Miami leading 13-0. Nearly a jam-packed crowd at the Orange Bowl, and we're glad you could join us today here on Sunshine Network. After this timeout, we'll return.
Help us! Behind the story America believes.
You saved 54 people. I love you, John Bubber.
Is the truth nobody knows.
Oh, he's a fake.
That John Bubber is a fraud. And Bernie LaPlante.
You can't believe one word you see on TV.
Is really the hero.
Are you Bernard LaPlante? Mom, it's my father!
Dustin Hoffman, Gina Davis, Andy Garcia in a comedy for our times. Hero, directed by Stephen Frears. Rated PG-13. At theaters October 2nd.
Slowing down, that ain't you. No, that's not you. Easy drinking beer, that silver bullet smooth. Know where it's coming from, setting in the mood. The pure taste of the Rockies and silver bullet smooth. Make the move good like silver bullet smooth.
The Orlando Sentinel calls it important television, watched by the movers and shakers of the state. It's the highly respected public affairs show, Sunday in Florida. Sunday in Florida profiles the hottest political issues of the day with host Steve Wilkerson. Hear from Florida leaders and the press that covers them, all on Sunday in Florida, 9 till 10 a.m. Sunday on Sunshine Network, Florida's best.
Welcome back to college football here on Sunshine Network. Miami leading 13-0. Let's go to Joe Rose for an injury update, Joe.
Yeah, James Thurman, number 13, the wide receiver for FAMU, was just taken in for x-rays. They believe he's cracked his ribs, and they're just checking to make sure.
Tough break for the senior out of Bartow, UC Florida. Kenny Riley looking over his roster there saying, ooh, I lost quite a receiver there in Thurman. Who do I put in for him? And the fact he's got Davis back home with a bad ankle, another receiver. Nonetheless, it's the defense for the Rattlers. They have to hold out 3rd down and goal as Miami with Toretta. Lone running back again still is McGuire. Here's a pass over the top. It's going to be for Lamar Thomas. He's got a touchdown, Miami.
Just great execution on the quarterback receiver of running the fade route. Gino does a good job of hanging it up high where only Lamar can catch it. As we look back at the screen, watch the touch on this ball. Great job, get good separation, perfect throw. Easy touchdown.
Kenny Riley, the defender out there, had nothing more to do than just try to beat him as much as he could with a hand up in his face to try to knock it away, but he didn't have enough. Great touch by Toretta.
Great touch, and anytime you get down inside that 10-yard line, you know that you're going to get man coverage.
So going for a couple of points here now, and the fact that the last try for the extra point was muffed on the snap. Toretta will go for 2. As they lead this ball game 19-0. On the extra point, Toretta looking. Williams, 2-point conversion good. I want to tell you, you could have hung some laundry on that pass because Toretta really rifled it to Williams right in front of Derek Dixon. So Gino Toretta with his 2nd touchdown pass of the day, his 32nd in his career, moving into number 5 all time in the history of the University of Miami and into some very, very nice company. Again, Toretta with a touchdown pass to Thomas to set up that 2-pointer. Let's look at it again here, Nat.
Yeah, just look at the rotation on the football here. Comes down, perfect throw. No one can catch that pass but Lamar Thomas. That's what you've got to have from your quarterback. As we look at the 2-point conversion, once again, you've got Kevin Williams breaking away from Dixon. 2 points.
So is Dennis Erickson, again, going for win number 35 as the head coach of the Canes. Now sees his ball club back on serve, so to speak, with a 21-0 lead with 3 touchdowns and now a muffed extra point, but now they've made up for that. But still the Rattlers with a great opportunity to get some of their speedsters. They've lost Thurman now, but I'm kind of surprised they haven't looked for Mickens. Another one of their top receivers has been kind of a man missing today, so we may look for him as Miami gets ready to kick off. Cockrell along with Bell are the deep receivers. Cockrell, number 24, will get it. Stumbles at his own 5, still stumbling at the 10, to the 15, to the 20. Good return all the way back up to about the 30-yard line where he stepped out of bounds. And a good team, special teams, knock him away. 27-yard return after a 47-yard drive by the Canes in 6 plays, 235. And again, the little touch pass from Toretta to Thomas, and then he goes for the 2 and gets that to Williams. So let's see what happens to the Rattlers now offensively, Nat, with 7:46 to go. If they hope to stay in this game in any way, they must get a score now.
Well, I see that Coach Riley's now went to Keith Brown, and he's making a quarterback change, and maybe we'll see them get the ball to Terry Mickens, who is that great receiver that they've had.
Brown had a great day with almost 300 yards passing against Georgia Southern. They try to get Duffy to keep it on his inside before it opens up the passing lanes. And just really to get a snap under the belt of Keith Brown out of Gainesville, Florida. Robert Bass, by the way, substituting for middle linebacker Michael Barrow, makes the stop. Again, Brown with 1 snap so far.
Just a straight ahead drive with trying to get through as many orange jerseys as possible without getting killed. But just basically trying to get Keith Brown the first snap and then see where he can go from here. I expect to see him try and get the ball to Mickens here pretty soon.
By the way, that was Kwame Vidal, number 21, a fumble. Brown tries to pitch it at the last moment. That ball could be advanced, and it's going to be recovered just as a fumble recovery, the second of the afternoon for Miami. Lopez was out there, but it was Bethel who comes up with it now after the touch is made, and let's see who finally gets up off the bottom of it. Number 58, they say Corwin Francis out of LaPorte, Texas, the man that made the fumble recovery. again after Bethel made the tackle.
Well, this play was doomed from the start. He does a bad job of getting the quarterback center exchange, and then he's stripped of the ball by Bethel just as he's going out, and it almost looked like he's trying to pitch it, but I think it was knocked out by Bethel.
Well, Bethel and Francis nonetheless collaborate on a fumble recovery, the second of the afternoon, given up by the Rattlers now. And their hopes of getting something going offensively is dashed for the moment again here in the second period. 1st and 10, Miami leading 21-0. Hand off straight ahead as they try to get some yardage to the 25. McGuire still the running back. Daniels, middle linebacker, makes the stop. You know, this is a patchwork offensive line. We may mention that Etheridge is now playing weak tackle, wearing number 68 after playing at tight end. Barber is the only returning starter left. They, of course, have lost Searcy and Harris from last year and others. Green starting at center. Vickers, Lemelski going on the left side at guard and tackle. But these guys have really taken the challenge and doing an excellent job so far.
It's the University of Miami ability to bring in quality athletes time after time again that will step up and take the challenge and do a good job with it. And when you talk about Etheridge, you're talking about a good blocking tight end that was moved to weak tackle that's very undersized, but he does a good job of getting into the defender's chest early.
Well, speaking of quality, running back McGuire gets some more room as he rumbles inside. Boy, Ned, he's still making some good cuts.
He's making some good cuts, and I tell you, Ken Raleigh II is going to have nightmares about McGuire before it's over with.
You mentioned Etheridge a moment ago, 4.6 speed for the weak tackle, so he definitely can get out of the plate. Here's McGuire, gaping hole on the right side. Rudy Barber on that side, along with Etheridge, the man of which we spoke, opening it up for the Canes, and McGuire takes advantage for a first down to the 14.
Here you see Carlos Etheridge does a good job of a turnout block. You'll see him as you come through the screen, but he turns his defender completely out of there. There's a big hole with between Barber and Etheridge.
Boy, Green out of Pittsburgh, the center, also turned his man to the inside. Michael Honeycutt out of Tallahassee was on the stop for the Rattlers. Toretta to McGuire. Oh, they're going to test him a lot. Nothing doing this time. He'll lose 2. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12. Lewis Williams out of Lakeland, Florida. They call him Salt. There's another Lewis Williams, also from the same high school, the same name. And obviously, what would you call him? His name is Pepper. Salt and Pepper. As Lewis Williams is 6'4.5", 225. Identical bookend type looking guys for Florida A&M. Toretta, 32 career touchdown passes, 2 today. And you would say this would be the passing down on the 2nd and 12 here at the 14. In motion is Bennett. You look for him for a moment. Big rush is on, and Toretta gets out of it somehow. Throws under pressure at the goal line. Jump ball. Knocked down. And coming back was going to be Taylor to try to make the intercept, while Daniels was the man that put the rush on. And I tell you what, Gino Torretta's getting up slowly back upfield. He took a pretty good shot that time from Daniels, and just a jump ball. Taylor almost made this intercept at the goal line.
You see Daniels come free and does a great job, but then he didn't come down with the sack. Gino does a good job of getting the ball off, but he almost threw that fatal interception that would have stopped the drive.
Dobie Ingram out of DeLand, Florida. 270 was the man who finally put the crunch on Toretta. 3rd down, 10, still at the 14, 16-yard line here for Florida A&M. For the Canes. Toretta, boy, they're getting some good penetration to that offensive line. Toretta's going to try to do something of his own. A flip pass ahead, caught by Coleman Bell at the 8-yard line. The Rattlers say no. The side judge says yes, but it's still short of a first down. It'll bring up either a field goal try, which it does as Pruitt comes on, or they would go for 4, but they're going to go for 3. What a job here by Toretta.
This is just good effort on Gino's part. You know, we talk about his caginess, his smartness, and his strong arm, but here you see the intelligence of a Gino Toretta. Oh. Instead of settling for the sack, he gets the ball forward to Coleman Bell. Bell comes up with the catch. They still got possession, a little closer for the field goal.
Well, Snyder will hold. It'll be placed down at the 15. Pruitt will kick it, a 25-yard try, and Dane Pruitt, wearing some big shoes of Carlos Huerta, the All-American, gets his first field goal on the home opener here. And a flag is down before we call it good. We'll see where the options rest.
Offside on the defense.
Well, let's see now. A step off of 5 would give the Canes a first down, as they had a fourth down at about 4.5 to 5. They may have to measure that football there.
Well, look like the Canes are sending their offense back on the football field.
Sure, it's a 5-yard penalty. They'll step that off. It'll be first and goal.
What do you think? You know, there's a rule of thumb that you never take points off the board. They've got the 3 points. They're playing against FAMU here at home. Do they leave the 3 up, or do they take the first down and they go for the touchdown?
You know, I'm going to say they're going to go ahead and take the penalty and take the ball and get a first and goal, simply because that's aggressive football, and that's what Miami plays. Sure, you don't want to run up the score on anybody, but this is early in the game, and that's what they're going to think about right now, is to see what they're going to do. By the way, Gino Torretta has been shaken up a little bit more than we thought a moment ago. You saw the hit. And Frank Costa, you see, number 11, is being talked to here by Dennis Erickson. So the hit by Ingram a moment ago on Torretta may have been a little more severe than even we thought. There you see it. Let's go to Joe. Joe?
Yeah, Sam and Nat, it looks like they're checking Torretta's shoulder. His left shoulder right now, it's either bruised or possibly separated. They're talking about it right now. It looks like a check. Could be a big loss for University of Miami.
Wow. #1 team in the country, #1 quarterback going, and percentage throwing after the Iowa game, 31 of 51, and 2 touchdowns today. And Torretta now with the jersey, the pads, and all off with ice on the left shoulder. And Frank Costa from Philadelphia, a sophomore, 6'4", 214. A good look at him. Is in to call the signals. It'll be a 4th down, and they need only inches, so it was not an automatic first down, but they are going to go for it on 4th. Costa goes to Bennett. He dives to the 4. They'll unstack and make sure before they give the indication of a first and goal. Bennett, the inside linebacker, made the stop on Bennett. Let's take a look at Torretta on this last pitch that he made and the way he fell.
Yeah, looked like he just came down on his shoulder the wrong way.
Albert! Let's hope it's just a little nick. You can see him. He's already starting to circle that shoulder right there.
Yeah, he's starting to have a little pain there.
Wow. Just kind of turned right under him when he landed on the turf. Got up rather quickly, but now you can see that. And the way they're putting that ice on, that's going to be it as a first and goal to go for Miami after the chains are stretched. So you may have seen all of Torretta today against Florida A&M.
Well, that was one of the things that Coach Erickson talked about earlier in the week, was to come out and play tough, because he felt that if they let down, they could get players hurt, and to take a chance and possibly lose your Heisman Trophy candidate, Gino Torretta, would be a big blow to the Hurricanes season.
We'll give you some numbers on Torretta in a moment as Costa calls his team to attention. First and goal to go at the 4. Gives it to the left side, and it's going to be a touchdown. Bennett for the Canes. So Miami running out now to a 27-0 lead after losing their #1 quarterback. Torretta going to the dressing room, completed 12 of 22 for 174 yards and a couple of touchdowns, but from the looks of that, his day is finished.
As we look back at the replay, once again, they're in a double tight end. You see Eldridge, good blocking. Everybody, no one touches him. You're talking about everybody getting a hat on their man and keeping him out.
So the kick is good as Dane Pruitt puts it through successfully this time. And the Hurricanes still with a 28-0 lead on the Rattlers. And the Rattlers, who themselves have lost one of their top wide receivers in Thurman with a possible rib injury. Now they've got to try to find some offense of their own.
Here we go again. You've got Bennett taking the handoff, and everyone has a turnout block, or should I say a hook block, and they all get their hat on their man and get them knocked off the ball. Anytime you can do that, you're going to gain yardage, and sometimes if it's short, you're going to end up with touchdowns.
Kirkite, the young man who's a senior out of Jacksonville, number 87, was one who had a key block right on the corner for Miami that opened that up easily for Bennett to step in. Let's go down to Joe Rose again. Joe, what's happening?
Well, a little update on Gino Torretta. It looks like he's got a strained left shoulder. He could play, they think, but they're going to keep him out, check it, take x-rays. They think he's going to be okay, though. That's the good news.
I'll take bets you will not see him the rest of the day. No more chances with your team leading 28-0. Tough break for Torretta, of course. He is one of those that's being touted as the Heisman Trophy candidate winner this year. You know, he was a little miffed at Shane Matthews from Florida, who was still in the fourth quarter of the ball game the other day. Pruitt slips as he kicks the football to the 20-yard line. Florida A&M's going to get a good return, but wait a minute, there's a whistle down. And the receiver on the play came all the way down, touched the knee, and it's going to be an altercation going on at midfield now. Todd Floyd was the man who put it down, and now benches are emptying on both sides, and flags are all over the place. No real love loss. A lot of these players, as we made mention, have played against each other since they were in junior high. As Dennis Erickson looks more like a traffic cop out there than he does the head coach of Miami.
Well, both coaching staffs show cooler heads and are doing a good job of getting their players back on the sideline where they belong. Let the officials handle the ball game. Anytime you have guys that in a game that's turning into a blowout, that have played against each other in high school, that know each other, they'll tempers flare a little bit, but they've done a good job of getting it back under control.
So the referees will huddle, by the way, with the coaching staff, both dressed in almost identical outfits today. We may have to put numbers on them before the day is over. Again, an easy TD run.
Personal foul on the kicking team. Personal foul on the receiving team. 2 players are ejected.
So 2 players tossed out of the football game. We'll get the numbers here in a moment of those 2 that'll be gone. One on either side on offsetting personal foul penalties here. One for the Rattlers, the other for the Canes. Nonetheless, where Floyd's knee touched down for the Rattlers back at the 25, and that's where they'll have a 1st and 10. Let's look at Bennett again here.
I tell you what, this is just such a great job of blocking, Sam. I think even you could have ran it in.
Wait a minute. Let's not get carried away here now. 8 plays, 30 yards, nearly 4 minutes again. Bennett from 4 yards out. 1st and 10 again for the Rattlers, and they had their 2nd fireman of the day, and that is going to be once again Keith Brown, wearing number 10. Young junior out of Gainesville, played so well against Georgia Southern. I had an opportunity to do that on many of these Prime Network stations when they played Georgia Southern, but he was substituted by Tracy Weldon in the win over South Carolina State last week. Weldon starts today, but is roughed up by Miami's defense, and now Brown was had trouble getting anything going of himself. We'll have another opportunity here. 3:01 to go in the 2nd quarter. Brown has the split running backs behind him. And there's going to be another fumble. Lopez is right on top of Brown, who has to fall on it after the snap coming from Wally Williams. And the troubles are starting to be more compound here for Florida A&M. Let's go back down to Joe Rose. Joe?
Sam, Nat, as the game starts to get a little out of hand here, 28-0. Kevin Williams was just kicked out of the game, along with Tavel for FAMU on over on the other side.
So Williams, one of that famed ruthless posse, is gone after he got in an altercation. On the kick return, it is a 2nd down and 11 here. And Weldon is back in the ball game here for Florida A&M as he gives the handoff off, trying to get some running room to the 30-yard line. And again, the Rattlers have Mike Mitchell, number 30 in the ball game, running the football. Also in there as well is Reddick, number 34, Reddick carrying at that time. So they're just trying to do anything. Williams on the sideline, but out of this game for today. A lot of new numbers will crop up on both sides for the remainder of the day, giving everybody an opportunity to score. Lopez got a hand on the tackle the last time. As you take a look across the way, number 82, George Terrell, the other man that was thrown out of the game. The opposite side for the Rattlers as, again, the Rattlers trying to get a 1st down, and they may be close this time at the 35-yard line.
Let's take another look at this play. You see that they're trying to blow Kenny Lopez. He's doing a good job of stalemating, but in comes bad, big hit. I don't think they got the 1st down.
4th down and 1.
Well, it's going to be a 4th down and 1, and you have a feeling with a 28-0 score, even though Ken Riley would love to try to go for it. He's got to bring in his punter again and try to punt the football away. Barry Brown, who is not their normal punter, will have to punt under some pressure as we've got a timeout on the field called by the Rattlers. And I think they may be under a little bit of indecision right now if they want to go for this thing on a 4th and short yardage or kick it away. And Ken Riley is certainly thinking about that right now. The Rattlers, by the way, are back into conference play, and they've got a big one coming up with Tennessee State, as they'll be playing. That ball game, by the way, will be at Atlanta coming up next Saturday. Then you see the home game with Howard, North Carolina A&T, Delaware State, both of those on the road. Morgan State back in Tallahassee. It'll be Southern University. Then at Grambling State. And then, of course, the game that they always look forward to, big money game for both those schools, Bethune-Cookman on November the 28th. For the Canes, now hopefully not having to play without Torretta, they'll play Arizona, followed by Florida State and at Penn State. TCU, Virginia Tech, West Virginia Temple, at Syracuse and San Diego to finish the year. Brown on 3 punts, for Florida A&M, averaging only 33 yards. Jonathan Harris is now the deep return man in lieu of Williams, who has been tossed out of the game. And from behind, Brown fumbles the ball. Looking into the sun is Harris. Jonathan has it. At the 36, jukes one tackler out of his shoes and gets himself up to the 41-yard line. Make it the 42, 1st and 10. And Frank Costa will come back into quarterback the Miami Hurricanes after a 30-yard punt with a 5-yard return. One thing about a 28-0 score, Nat, is you take a good look at Costa as he gets ready to play his second series here after handing off to Bennett for the score a moment ago after Torretta was injured. You're starting to see that depth that we talked about. 92 scholarships here at Miami in Division 1A. Of course, Florida A&M in Division 1AA, only 67 scholarship limit. You start to see that depth really come forth now.
Any time that you have as many quality players as the University of Miami does, and you're talking Division 1A versus Division 2A with only 67 scholarships and not the same quality athlete, it should take a big effect in the second half.
Costa throwing to Chris Jones. They have enough for a 1st down. Connor, the middle linebacker, with a stop. And Costa trying to get a quick count going here with only 55 seconds to go before halftime. Miami would love, with this unit on the field, to get another score. No running backs. He's throwing near sideline. The catch is made, and Spencer is ushered out of bounds. Gain of around 7 or 8 on the play by Spencer. Kenny Riley was the defender on the near side. Well, as you pointed out, he's going to see some nightmare numbers for those 2 corners for the Rattlers before this game is all over. By the way, Tellison, A.C. Tellison out of Bay City, Texas, is now running some wide receiver, number 18. You'll see him in the game. We mentioned Chris Jones, number 85. And again, Frank Costa with a 2nd down and 2 yards to go for Miami. Is back in the pocket to throw. Good protection. Now he has to run out of that. Williams knocks him off his feet. Costa dives right at the stake. He gets it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line. It looks like it may be just a tad short. And Williams, I think the man that made the hit, is down now for the Rattlers. No, it's one of the interior linemen, excuse me. So Florida A&M having their problems. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Joe Rose will be visiting with University of Miami Athletic Director Dave Maggart. They'll be talking about not only the recovery of the university in the area, but the future of this program. Jeff DeForest will feature Dennis Erickson. Not only what he does on the football field, but the adversity he has had to go through. Of course, we'll have both the bands, the Marching 100 for the Rattlers, the Outstanding Band of the Canes. We'll have highlights and stats, along with Joe Rose, at halftime today. 38 seconds left to play before halftime. Well, Nat, one of the things we talked about before this game got started, and then talked a little bit on the front, is the depth of Miami. They're heavily favored. They're the #1 team, and they, of course, are running away at 28-0. Let's take a look and see if we can pick up the injury here. Oh, yeah.
Well, it looks like he gets a leg whip by Lewis Williams. And that's Marcus Lampkin, the big nose tackle, that gets his leg back from him. Hopefully he'll be okay. One of the things that Coach Riley talked about coming into this ball game was that this game is a great opportunity for them, but next week is the big ball game, and they really didn't want to get a lot of kids hurt this ball game, and they've already got one kid, James Thurman, that's in the locker room that could possibly have cracked ribs, and now to lose Marcus Lampkin would really be a big blow to their program.
Now, before any of the Rattler fans who watch our telecast here on Sunshine Network say, well, it sounds like Coach Riley might have gone in throwing in the towel early. Fear not, this is a competitor. He came in here telling us this. He said, we will bring the best that we have to play the best in the country. If we are successful in playing against them, so be it. But we are going to leave the field with our head high, knowing we have played the best we can in Miami and go back and get our schedule back together to play Tennessee State next week. That's exactly the honesty he comes in with this football game. A realist knowing what his chances were today. Well, don't forget, we've got boxing coming your way. And that, of course, will be coming up with the boxing program coming from Madison Square Garden. It's from the Paramount Theater. That'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we'll take a look at the boxing right here. And that'll be featuring Poison Junior Jones versus Eddie Rangel from San Antonio, a 12-round bantamweight bout for the USBA Championship. Don't miss it right here on Sunshine Network. Well, after Lampkin is helped off the field, Costa with a 3rd down and 1 for Miami. Dumps it off easily to Bennett in the open field. He will go out of bounds, tried to stutter step his way, and is out at the 17-yard line right in front of Kenny Riley. And again, you saw the deep threat that kind of froze all of the deep backs and got Bennett wide open underneath. Nice pass by Costa on this play.
Oh, good job of Costa looking downfield, seeing that everything's being covered. They're in a deep zone. He drops the ball off to Bennett. Bennett gets upfield.
And you can see Donnell trying to say, well, I may try to get another couple of yards. No, I'm just going to go out of bounds. Stops the clock also with 29 seconds to go. 1st down and 10, 17 in Rattler territory for the Canes. Bennett is in motion as far as he can come left. Costa under pressure, throws over the middle, incomplete, intended for Jonathan Harris. Diving to try to knock it away is Dixon. It goes incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Stops the clock after rolling off only 5 seconds.
Here we got a blitz right up the middle. Pick number 93, Irvin Collier. We talked about him earlier, his ability to put pressure on the quarterback, and here you see him causing Costa to throw an errant pass.
Costa, by the way, had gone 3 for 3 before that pass that goes incomplete. Tellison goes split to the right. Harris, along with Chris Jones, are split left to the short side. Costa with a 2nd and 10. Clock will roll after the snap. Gives it straight ahead. Goes to Bennett. He's at the 10 to 5. Fights his way down to the 3-yard line. Timeout, Miami. So the Canes stop the clock with 17 seconds to go before halftime after Bennett rambles for 14 yards and sets up a 1st and goal to go for Miami.
Great call by the Hurricane offense. You've got a little draw action here. You catch the Rattlers in a blitz. Good blocking up front. And here we go, almost a touchdown.
Donnell Bennett, who has been battling for that starting running back spot, 6'2", 227. You saw the young sophomore there. He got the nod today out of Fort Lauderdale Cardinal Gibbons. By the way, his coach up that way, his name is Don Marino, said he overall is the best athlete he has ever coached in high school football, and he has coached some good ones. So quite a compliment coming for Bennett out of Cardinal Gibbons up in Fort Lauderdale. Is this the heir apparent in quarterback U's future? Costa, number 11, young man out of Philadelphia, just a sophomore in his 3rd year, 6'4", 214. Seems very poised under pressure, Nat.
Very poised, doing a good job of running the Hurricanes' 2-minute offense, moving them down. And this is a golden opportunity for him to get some playing time that he might not get later in the year. You know, as a head coach like a Dennis Erickson, you want to have a guy that has some experience so that when Gino do move on, you've got a guy waiting in the wings.
Well, of course, Gino Torretta, an injured left shoulder. We will not guess on the severity of that injury, but he is out and into the locker room with ice on the left shoulder. Costa with Bennett in motion left. He's looking for Bennett. He's going to be caught from behind and fumbles the ball. And it's going to be recovered, and Florida A&M will hold off the Canes here at the end with 11 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter as they come up to make the big fumble recovery. And getting off the top of the ball for the Rattlers, number 46, is Lee Green, the offensive right end. 6'4" out of Tallahassee, as Costa rolling out under pressure and fumbles it away.
Once again, Bruce Daniels, who's been in the backfield all day, is coming up with another big play. He comes around and does a good job of just not allowing Costa to have time to step up and throw the football.
Green was one of those players as a linebacker last year, gained 25 pounds and was forced to go to a down lineman at 250. So the Rattlers will just run out some time here with 11 seconds deep in their own territory, as they'll give the handoff right up over the right side to just move it out to the 10, let the clock wind down. Nobody's going to stop it here, and that's going to end the first half. Pretty much as many had expected. Number 1 Miami with a 28-0 lead on the Rattlers of Florida A&M before a jam-packed crowd in the home opener for Miami. So the Canes scoring inside, outside, but losing their number 1 quarterback, Gino Toretta, to a shoulder injury. We'll talk about what to expect in the second half. Stay tuned. A busy halftime for us here at the Orange Bowl. Again, the Canes with a 28-0 lead. We'll return with more after this on the Sunshine Network. 28-0. Sam Smith along with Nat Moore and Joe Rose from a sold-out Orange Bowl where the sun is slowly sinking behind some clouds. This is Cockrell with the ball, number 24 to the 10, to 15 to 20. There's a flag down, cutting the outside, and will finally be brought down. It'll be 1st and 10, but let's find out where the ball will be as the flag is down on the kickoff return. 20 yards, the return by Cockrell. France is making the stop for Miami. They're conferring to see there were 1, 2, 3 flags thrown on the field, and each referee has his discussion with the referee here, Buddy Ward. Buddy will kind of piece it all together and give us the indication here.
Holding on the return team. Clipping on the return team.
It's called a double whammy, right?
That's called just keep them out.
That's right. Miami will be coming with their number 1 defensive unit, and you'll take a look at why. Look at the yardage passing and yardage rushing. 32 yards total for FAMU in the first half. 295 for Miami. And, of course, the penalties, 313 for FAMU, 2 for 10 yards for the Hurricanes, but 3-to-1, the turnover ratio in that first half. That's tough for the Rattlers to overcome.
You're talking about them not ever getting anything established offensively. The fact that they weren't able to handle the quarterback center exchange, they put the ball on the ground 3-4 times where they could have established a running game, and it hurt them.
Let's go down to Joe Rose before this first snap to Weldon.
Okay, guys, thanks a lot. Number 79 for the Rattlers, Marcus Lampkin, will not be back in, and James Thurman, he has cracked ribs or bruised ribs, and he also will not return today. Toretta, real quickly, he's got a slight separation. He will not play the rest of this game.
Michael Barrow with a quick blitz right up the middle, salutes the fans with another takedown and a sack of the quarterback as Weldon has to fall for a 1-yard loss, and it's 2nd down and 11. Well, wasn't any doubt there, huh?
I tell you what, they showed blitz all the way, but he's just so quick and so fast that the guard wasn't able to get off his block and pick him up.
By the way, his mother, May, is rebuilding their home down in Homestead, but she's doing it with the help not only of her son, Michael Barrow, but a lot of the Hurricane football players. They've all been down there to help Homestead in their recovery from Hurricane Andrew in the last few weeks. Weldon off to Duffy. Duffy spins his way to the 15-yard line. And this is one thing that FAMU has not got in any kind of consistent balance all day, has been able to do any kind of penetrating on the defense against Miami to set up anything for them.
Well, it's tough against that front four of Miami and those great linebackers, but you've got to be able to establish the run to even think about throwing the football against that type of defensive aggressiveness. And here we see Duffy finally getting a chance to run with the football, but they've hurt themselves more than the Hurricanes have hurt them.
Duffy again gaining 984 all-purpose yards, 644 rushing, 240 as a receiver last year for the Rattlers. Weldon check so far. Weldon under pressure, in the pocket, throws in and out of the hands. Intended receiver was Chad Fan, the tight end, but he dropped it. Jesse Armstead was in coverage there for the Canes. Barrow now looked as if he might have been limping coming back, but he's just trying to get himself pumped up here.
Here we see for one of the few times today that Tracy Weldon has time to throw, and Chad Fan just let the ball play him. Instead of going out catching it in his hand, he tried to body catch it, and usually what happens is it hits the pads and it bounces away.
4th down and 7, 5th punt of the afternoon, a 33-yard average so far for, again, Barry Brown replacing Wally Williams, their normal punter, their center, who has a bad ankle. And this is Jonathan Harris fielding it for the Canes when we dropped right at the 49-yard line. Again, he is the punt returner, replacing the man that was thrown out. That, of course, is Kevin Williams. There is a flag down on the kick. It is back where the ball was punted by Brown for 26 yards and a -3 return.
On the defense.
So a holding. Let's take a look at the Associated Press top 10, where Miami is making their 106th consecutive appearance in the top 10. As once again, Washington, Florida State, a big win over North Carolina State, Florida losing to Tennessee. Then comes Texas A&M, Michigan, Notre Dame with that tie, Syracuse, Alabama, and Penn State. Miami again, you see those that are on that schedule, and they've still got some tough customers to handle, including Florida State on October the 3rd here at the Orange Bowl. Dennis Erickson, you know, he's not thinking that far down the road. You got to believe that going through his mind is, let's see, Toretta's out with a slight shoulder separations. Well, I got to think about Frank Costa here. I think the man can do it. A lot of things going through his mind right now. Dennis Erickson, coach of the year, national championship, second in 3 years, the fourth for the Canes since they really got it going at 83 and on. Looking for their 5th in 10 years, as Nat pointed out. Back to throw with the ball is Weldon. Over the middle, it is in and out of the hands, and that is Mickens, number 81, and that's the first time, to my knowledge now, they've tried to throw to him all day long, and Mickens has been unable to come up with a pass.
Well, they tried to hit him over the middle, but you know, we talked about the great linebacking core of the Hurricanes, and who was he double covered by? Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow. You know, it's tough when your star receiver is being covered by linebackers.
And a lot of people say that's what you try to get, is the receivers on linebackers. Not the case when you play Miami. Stepping across the line of scrimmage, Darren Klein for 191 as a flag is down, and he will circle the wagons around Duffy, but again, Klein on one side, and on the other side, Bethel. Both had appeared offsides for Miami.
Outside on the defense.
Darren Klein moved from a linebacker to a defensive end. Gained 25 pounds from last year, up to 250, and again, offside. You see him at the top right side of your screen there.
Right. You've got Chuck Duffy, and he does what most running backs do when they make a mistake. You start one direction, and then you try and reverse your field, and you can't do that against this speedy defensive football team of the Hurricanes.
Second down and 5 after the 5-yard step off against Miami. Very few penalties have been stepped off. You may recall we have had several offsetting penalties today. Just underway in the third quarter, 28-0 Miami with the lead at the Orange Bowl, trying to go for their 46th consecutive win and their 20th in a row currently. Their 46th consecutive at home, and here's a pass over the middle, intercepted by Smith. Canes ball as the ball was tipped, and Smith comes down with it. And they're going to say that the ball hit the ground before he could cradle it away. Let's go down to Joe Rose quickly. Joe?
Sam and Nat, one thing real quickly, FAMU will make out, maybe not on the scoreboard today, but they will collect $165,000 today. This will be their largest payday during the course of the season. And also, this really, they're depending a lot for the recruiting efforts in South Florida. So FAMU doesn't lose totally today.
Well, the Orange Blossom Classic is another success here in Miami for Ken Riley, and certainly for the Rattlers at the bank, but not so on the scoreboard, as they're only 1 of 6 in third down conversions, and they throw again, and this time they get it complete out to the 39-yard line, and this time Chad Fan will come up with a football.
Here we have a good job of the receiver, number 26, coming down, and he looks the ball into his hand, makes a great catch.
By the way, that was Jamie Bell, number 26, Jamie Bell, rather than Chad Fan making the reception, and a first down as McNeil was the man that caught him and rode him down. So 1st and 10 for the Rattlers at their own 40-yard line. 12-11 to go in the third quarter. The Rattlers would dearly love to put something on the board here. Again, Weldon, who started, was replaced by Brown, gives it off to Duffy. And how well the Miami Hurricane defense can stretch it out as they go north and south through the Rattlers, but not enough east-west as Smith's the one that shuts the door.
The defense.
Now the Canes appear to be with an offsides, and now a little later a face mask penalty, kind of self-destructing on their own fine defensive efforts today.
Yeah, they're getting a little sloppy for the Hurricanes, but the Hurricanes are known to play with penalties and etc. and still come up big. So so far they've played a pretty good football game as far as mistakes, penalties and etc. But you know, when you're blowing people away, you do get a little sloppy in the end.
I want to talk about the attitude of the Canes in the practice field after this play here as the Rattlers have a 1st and 5 yards to go. 11:36 left in the 3rd period. The handoff. Right, a little cross block across the middle. Gets a couple of yards for the Rattlers as again they're trying to go with Reddick. Also Vidal, Mitchell, and Duffy, their running backs. And to some success. You made the mention that you've been at practice several times. And as they play defense here, they do this way in the practice sessions as well. Very all out.
Right. They are a very intense group. You know, I've never seen so many players fight amongst themselves in practice. And it's called a respect. If you're a freshman, you are expected to go out and challenge a senior. You don't care if he's a Toretta. You don't care if he's a Lamar Thomas. It's demanding respect, and that's what they do on the football field, whether it's practice or game.
It's called make yourself better against the best. Here's Brown. The rush is on from Armstead as Brown dumps it off, intended again for the running back, in this case, Duffy. But again, Armstead was the man that had the pressure on Brown, had to dump it away. And the Rattlers just can't get it going here. Penalties the only thing they've been able to score to march up the field with.
Right. The Hurricanes just, you know, these great linebackers there. Here you have Jesse Armstead coming in, forcing the errant throw. They want to set up a screen, but the defensive line smelled it out, and Armstead's there to put the pressure on before they can come off their secondary receiver.
Armstead, one of the most highly recruited linebackers out of Dallas Carter High School. Lots of injuries, but healthy now and playing well for Miami. It's a 3rd down and 2. Handoff. Reddick. He's met right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Farrell for 1, and getting off the bottom of the stack as well. He had some help from Smith. So the linebackers pinching down, not letting him do anything. It'll bring up a 4th down and punt for Brown again.
As you see, once again, linebackers coming up big. That's been the story of this entire Hurricane football team defensively. Great linebacker play, great play from the front 4, and then the defensive back just have to sit back and play zone.
33-yard average so far for Barry Brown. Jonathan Harris is back. If you joined us for our telecast, Kevin Williams, the normal punt receiver, thrown out of the ballgame after an altercation back in the 1st half. As Brown's punt is going to go out of bounds on the far side. They'll spot it out at the 24, and that's where Miami will take over. Frank Costa, the man in the cockpit now, with injured Gino Toretta. There is a flag down, and we'll check that out after we return. We'll be back to the Orange Bowl with the Canes leading with a score of 28-0 over Florida A&M. Back in a moment on Sunshine Network. The ball back with a 1st and 10 yards to go for the Florida A&M Rattlers. Here in the 3rd period, they're down 28-0. They're throwing complete to Duffy coming out of the backfield, and Chuck will run it on down to, let's see where they finally spot him out of bounds. It'll be at the 27-yard line. And again, another flag is down on the field. 14-yard gain for Duffy before Casey Greer out of Memphis, Tennessee can knock him away. Referee Buddy Ward.
Illegal procedure, illegal formation on the offense.
So the Rattlers trying to throw a little twist in their offense to try to catch the Canes and get caught for it. It'll bring it back to the line of scrimmage and step off a 5-yard penalty. They do have a 1st and 15 to go, though.
That's been the story of their offense today. Every time they've got a chance to come up with something big, they hurt themselves. Here you've got an illegal formation. You come up with a big play where you roll the quarterback out and get the ball to Chuck Duffy. Big gainer, brought back.
Brown, Dillard, Williams, Sanchez, and Kilpatrick, the front line for the Rattlers. Chad Pham, the tight end, who's been playing in and out of the lineup. And, of course, a bevy of receivers. They've lost one in James Thurman. Bell did not travel, their fine receiver and punt return man, with a bad ankle. Reddick with a call. Hit in the backfield, but he gets back to the line of scrimmage. And there is Rusty Medeiros with a stop. Let's go back down to Joe Rose.
Gentlemen, just a few moments ago, they got a standing ovation for the 3,000 Army servicemen that are down here. They're working in Homestead. The bad news for them is right after this ball game, they have to get back in buses and they have to head back down to work. So they got like a 6-hour leave of absence, and then it's back to work. True football fans.
Well, Well, we got the word there were 2,000, but there are 3,000 tonight. Don't forget, if you'd like to help in the relief fund, 1-800-FL-HELP-1. 1-800-354-3571 to help in the relief effort. Here's a pass to the outside, knocked away by Darren Smith. Intended for Duffy coming out of the backfield. And again, excellent pressure on the inside against Weldon. But again, the great drop and coverage ability by the linebackers for Miami.
Yeah, they tried to run an option route with Chuck Duffy against Darren Smith here, and Darren Smith has got 4.42 speed, and that's just not going to work. Here he is breaking up the play and almost pulling it out of there for an interception.
Some of the military guys, you heard Joe, they got to go back to work. And boy, they've done a yeoman job, the military from all over the USA down in the South Dade area. Our salute to them as well. Third down, 15 for the Rattlers. Brown back, Weldon throwing. A wounded Quayle will go out of bounds and incomplete. It does bring up a fourth down, and again the Rattlers will have to punt the football away. One thing about Weldon, he and Brown both have seen excellent pursuit. They did not see that against Georgia Southern nor South Carolina State like they're getting today from the #1 Canes. Harris will be back at his own 10-yard line, and Brown again will kick the ball away. I'll tell you one thing about this capacity crowd. Very few have left as of yet with 8:54 to go in the third. A 28-0 Miami lead. There you get a good look at Jonathan Harris. Harris with excellent speed out of Houston Forest Brook. Line drive punt by Brown. Harris on the left. Oh, my! He's hit right after he receives the football, and making a crushing blow is Robert Gordon, number 42, a senior from Los Angeles Dominguez High School. A 31-yard punt, but I mean no return. And there, quite a reaction for the man. It makes maybe one of the biggest hits of the day.
Well, here Jonathan Harris is intent on catching the football, but he doesn't realize that there's a defender there at the same time, and what a collision.
Robert Gordon.
Let's go back and look at it at normal speed here. That was, you got the slow-mo replay here, and here it is the way it really happened. Oh, I remember those days.
I think it hurt worse both ways. I'm not sure which was worse than that. My. Well, the Hurricanes may have Arizona coming up next week, but it's an easy road ahead. Not. They do have, of course, Florida State coming up on October the 3rd. Penn State at University Park October the 10th. And then also on the road, they've got to go to Syracuse and San Diego State with Marshall Faulk and company. The last game of the year. You don't think he'll be running for a Heisman in that last game? Hopefully, Toretto will be back and throwing for a Heisman. And that'll be the last game of the year for the Canes. And again, 3 of the big tough games on the road this year for Miami.
Well, there's no doubt that the Hurricanes really have a tough road ahead of them, but they've got the personnel to do it, and they've got the belief in themselves, and that's what wins championships. Great coaching, great talent, and the belief in the tradition, and that's what they've been able to do over the past 9 years.
Well, I wondered how they recruited so well. Just show the lovely ladies at the field side here watching the football game, and the guys will come follow it. Other side of the coin, Ken Riley. He made mention to you, Nat, that he feels that he has recruited as well as ever at Florida A&M. Again, he still says, I can't recruit with the big 3 in Florida, but with my division and what's going on in Tallahassee, I've got some good kids.
Well, anytime you're Division 1 AA, it's tough to get that quality athlete. And as he stated yesterday, the ability to get the lineman is what has helped turn his program around. By getting a guy like a Wally Williams at center has really helped them tremendously.
This is McGuire as he high steps his way out over the 25-yard line and has enough for a first down as Frank Costa, number 11 out of Philadelphia, is still the quarterback, replacing the injured Gino Toretto. But McGuire, good stepping ability over the line of scrimmage here.
Yeah, running behind big Tyrell Green up front. And I'll tell you, this offensive line of the Hurricanes have just done a phenomenal job of opening up holes today.
Lee Green out of Tallahassee. At FAMU High School, FAMU High makes the stop for the Rattlers, but it's enough for a first down. 26-yard line for the Canes on territory. Frank Costa showing some experience here as he checks off at the line of scrimmage. Moves McGuire up to pick up a possible blitz from the outside. Throws to Harris. He has it and is knocked out of bounds at the 31. Taylor up for support for the Rattlers. It'll bring up a second down, and they'll need roughly about 4 to 5 yards for the first down here. Well, let's make it 6 as they do gain 4 on the play. Anytime you're running as a backup quarterback to the quarterbacks they've had here at the University of Miami, you know that your time will come, but it looks like it may come a little sooner for Frank Costa than even he had visualized. Slight shoulder separation for Torretta. And Arizona coming in next week. McGuire trying to get room to the left side. Runs out of real estate, out of bounds. Bring up a third down play. Let's go back down to Joe Rose. Joe?
Okay, guys, Coach Riley has sat his players down. He said, listen, guys, we can move the ball and we can play with these guys, but we're making too many mistakes. We're dropping balls and we're not blocking people the way we can. Let's get our confidence back and get this thing back on track.
Well, as the Rattlers try to do their best, the Canes also try to become the first team to win national championships with perfect records back-to-back. Oklahoma was the last team to do it under Bud Wilkinson back in 55-56. Again, national titles with back-to-back perfect records. And the Canes, of course, 12-0 a year ago. Costa throwing near sideline, out of the reach and well over the head. Intended receiver Chris Jones, the sophomore from West Palm Beach. To add to that, of course, Alabama was the last team to win back-to-back titles on the Associated Press poll in 78-79, and Texas on the coaches poll in 69 and 70 to win back-to-back national titles. So the fourth down play, and little used, and probably happily so. Paul Snyder will come in, and dropping back is Bridges for Florida A&M. Snyder, excellent time, good punt. Bridges fields at the 31. And he's going to be knocked off his feet and knocked back to the 30-yard line. So the special teams, which has been very special at the University of Miami, continues to play well this afternoon. For that matter, so do all of the Canes. They lead at 28-0. 7:15 to go in the third quarter. We'll return to the Orange Bowl after this timeout.
Jack, you look great. New clubs, new shoes, new ball.
Well, it's the new me, Bill.
New golf game, too?
We'll see.
It's showtime.
Showtime.
Hey! Whoa!
Maybe a 2-iron, Bill?
Yeah, a 2-iron. I just don't get it.
Well, it's showtime, Bill. And it's not the shoes, it's not the clubs, it's not the ball. It's this latest video from Golf Digest. How to get distance and accuracy.
A video?
Yeah, anyone can get it. And it's free when you subscribe to Golf Digest.
Huh.
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video, free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest, just $19.77. Call 800-652-2112. Imagine this video and Golf Digest. Call 800-652-2112.
This headbanging is more fun than going through a windshield.
Good night from Iron Maiden. Drive home safe. Remember to strap yourselves in with your safety belts.
All right.
Belt up. Don't be a dummy.
Well, the man that had an opportunity to go into the game and get some numbers is Gino Torretta, an injured shoulder in the first half. And now he talks to Frank Costa, the junior quarterback, trying to explain something to him there. Larry Jones, you see number 23 listing on as well. But Gino, again, with a slightly separated left shoulder out of this game after the second quarter. Florida A&M will take over 1st and 10 after the punt exchange. 7:15 to go in the third quarter, trailing 28-0. As Weldon is the quarterback again, and they try to establish an inside run game. And by the way, you'll hear even more new faces in there for the Canes as they try to get some more playtime as Robert Bass, the middle linebacker replacing Barrow, makes the first contact for Miami. One thing for the Rattlers, they have had little time to throw the football, and that's been one of the keys in this football game, as they just haven't had time to look for some receivers. Even though they've lost Thurman, Davis not here, and Mickens has just not been able to shake the defense. They try to throw the quick look in here. A bump early, and that's going to be a interference call on Paul White as he bumped the intended receiver Bridges a little early that time.
Pass interference on the defense.
Gino Toretta, by the way, before going out of this ball game, threw for 2 more touchdowns to give him 32 as a career.
On the defense, is spot foul, automatic first down.
Automatic first down, as you hear our referee, Barry Ward, indicating a spot foul, automatic first down. 6th first down, and 3 of those have come by penalties this afternoon.
Well, that's been the only way they've been able to move the football. You know, I keep harping on that great defensive front 4 and the 3 linebackers, and now you look at the wholesale changes that Miami's making, and it's the same thing. You're talking about just quality athletes on defense.
That was Mickens. They tried to get the ball out to Terry from Tallahassee. Again, their top receiver with 18 receptions so far for 245 yards for the year and a touchdown. But he has caught only 1 pass so far this afternoon. They try to get it to him, but just have not been able to do so. Corey Francis coming up to make the stop there for the Miami Hurricanes, replacing Jesse Armstead as the linebacker, the weak side.
And here they just tried to get the ball into Mickens' hands as quick as possible and try and give him some running room, but to no avail.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Probably the first time that Weldon had some decent time to throw and overthrows Mickens for 1, and also streaking down number 26 was Jamie Bell. Back deep was Malcolm Pearson, one of the dropping linebackers, the strong safety, dropping back into coverage.
Well, I think that the only thing you'll see Miami play, being that they wouldn't want to show too much for next week's game against Arizona at this point, will be different types of zones and trying to stay away from the man-to-man coverage so they don't show anything.
Weldon has gone 4 for 20 with an intercept and has thrown for only 31 yards against the Miami Hurricane defense, who yielded 313 yards at Iowa last week, including 266 yards in the air. Weldon scrambling out of the pursuit. Paul White is back there defending against number 26, Jamie Bell, but the pass well overthrown, and it's going to be a 4th down. And again, the Rattlers will have to kick it away. You know, they must be getting even more frustrated. Still down 28-0. Joe Rose down on the field. Joe?
Yeah, thanks, Sam. We just talked to some of the coaches over here on the sideline for University of Miami, and what they're saying now is they're going to take most of their starters out and try to get the backups and a lot of the third-string guys in there and get them some playing time. Look for them to really work on their running game right now and get a lot of these young offensive linemen some time and really work on the running game for some upcoming games.
Brown with a punt. Harris. Holtzy does not see Gordon again, and he does not. Harris needs a block in the corner. And is knocked out of bounds right in front of the FAMU bench. They'll spot him out at the 39-yard line. Jonathan Harris, who's a fun-loving player, likes to show the emotion after an 18-yard return. A 38-yard punt gives Miami 1st and 10. And again at their own 39. And Frank Costa will come back into the huddle along with Harris on this series for the Canes.
And we'll get an opportunity now to look at that second team group of receivers. They call themselves the Afros, which is America's fastest receivers on Saturday, shall I say. And you're talking about Jonathan Harris, A.C. Tellison, and Chris Jones, and these guys can play.
Fastest receivers on Saturday. All right. Costa will be looking for one of the streakers. He gives to McGuire, and this is going a little against what the game plan originally had been for McGuire to play only in the first, the quarter that he came in, which was the second. But apparently he told the trainers and Coach Erickson, hey, the knee feels good. Let me get a little more time, and they're only happy to give him some time. He comes out, and Jones replaces him in the lineup right now. But McGuire has had a good afternoon.
Right, he's had a good afternoon. Here he doesn't have much running room, but as you can see, look at the leg drive. That's what made McGuire the great running back that he was before he was injured, and they're just trying to build up his confidence.
Costa back to throw. The pocket is there. He dumps it off for Jones. Larry battles his way. Got it up for the first down to the 49-yard line. 4:44 to go. Third quarter, 28-zip. Miami with the lead. Over the Rattlers, Ian Connor from Kissimmee, Florida, the inside linebacker with a stop on Jones as he got isolated on him.
Yeah, here's a good shot of watching Jones. He's got good soft hands. He catches the ball, but look at this. Drop his shoulder and just runs over Connors for the first down.
Larry Jones again with a big game in the Orange Bowl against Nebraska, 144 yards. The most valuable player there. As it's 1st and 10 for the Canes. Costa make the draw to McGuire. Throws over the middle. It's complete. getting up is Kirkheide. Kevin Kirkheide out of Jacksonville. Taylor drops in, but another first down after a 16-yard gain. And I tell you what, Costa now pulling a little tricks out of his bag of tricks here for the Canes.
Yeah, a little misdirection play action here where he comes out to his left and hits Kirkheide coming across the middle.
6'4", 230, senior out of Jacksonville, getting an opportunity to play here. Costa back on the firing line to Harris. Enough for another Canes first down to the 23-yard line. Dixon, who had been all over this football field for the Rattlers in the first half, comes up with a stop here. Another 12 yards for Costa.
Frank Costa is really doing a good job of making some good decisions here. He feels a little pressure deep in the pocket, steps up, and throws the ball to Jonathan Harris.
Dad, he showed a pretty good gun right there off the run.
He's got a good, strong arm, and you know, the big question mark is how long will it take him to come along mentally.
Only missed a couple of passes, 7 of 9 already here. The draw up the middle. This is going to be Ferguson. Danielle Ferguson, the highly recruited freshman, coming out of Miami Columbus High, runs into the middle linebacker, Connor. And when you talk about depth, you're talking about running back. Of course, starting the ball game was Bennett. Jones was backing him. Then comes McGuire. Now you go to Ferguson, and you don't lose a step.
Well, Danielle Ferguson looked so good early in the fall practice that they were expecting him to come in and play a lot anyway. And as you can see, he was coming off an injury, and he's back now, and he's going to challenge these three big guys.
And now they've got Marucci running at the running back spot. So Jason Marucci will get his first call of the afternoon. He's been in on some special teams and on a blocking. As a matter of fact, he was the blocking back for Jones's first touchdown of the afternoon, the 1-yard plunge. And Marucci off the bottom of the stack. Gains a couple, brings up a third down play for the Canes, though. Ferguson back in, Marucci out for Miami. 2:37 and counting in the third quarter. Again, after Miami went in with a 28-0 halftime lead. Third down conversions for Miami as they're on a 3rd and 7 to go. So far, they're 6 of 13 on third down, and Costa will be trying to see if he can improve on that. Good protection. Throws. Almost made a second effort catch.
Almost a sensational catch.
He had company over there, Carroll, along with Riley. We're trying to do their best to try to knock it away, and also Earl Holmes. Holmes, by the way, has the lone interception coming into this ball game.
Costa has him open here. He's coming across on a drag route. He's got a little pressure. He throws it a little high, but Kevin does a good job of keeping his eyes on the ball and almost comes down with a big catch. An acrobatic catch.
Dane Pruitt will be trying it for 37 yards away. Snyder will place it down. Pruitt has the kick on its way. It's up, and it is good. So Dane Pruitt, the kicker for 92 for Miami, has put it through. And the Canes add 3 more on the board as they go up on the Rattlers with 2:08 to go in the third on a score of 31-0. We'll be back with more action from the Orange Bowl on Sunshine Network following this timeout.
Come on, sweetheart.
Your first big snow, Joey. Here he comes.
Joey doesn't care that inside is the world's most energy-efficient furnace.
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Or that Carrier can save up to 40% annually on heating.
Look at him. He loves it.
All he cares about is how warm and comfy Carrier keeps it inside.
Hey, come on.
Joe?
If you care about energy efficiency and saving money, call your Carrier dealer.
Turn the knob, Joey.
Carrier, we're the inside guys.
For nearly 50 years, car owners have used Gum-Out fuel system cleaners to help eliminate hard starts, hesitations, and stalls. And there's Pennzoil quality in every product, which is why so many people know they can trust Gum-Out to improve engine performance. Gum-Out, solutions to engine problems from the people at Pennzoil.
Gum-Out Extra Fuel Injector Cleaner is available at Kmart. The School of Hard Knocks is back in session. Get ready, Florida, for the best of the NHL as it makes its return to the Miami Arena. Miami Sports and Exhibition Authority, Blockbuster Video, the Miami Herald, and Sunshine Network proudly present the New York Islanders and the Hartford Whalers. Live Friday night, October 2nd at 7:30. It's your chance to see hard-hitting hockey like never before. The Islanders and the Whalers. Tickets now at the Miami Arena or all Ticketmaster outlets. For more info, call 305-381-8261.
Sam Smith, Nat Moore, Joe Rose back at the Orange Bowl in Miami. A near-capacity crowd for the home opener for the Canes. So far, so good. 31-zip on Florida A&M. After a three-point field goal by Dane Pruitt, he'll kick off to the Rattlers. Semkin on the near side will field it right at the 5. Shamil to the 15, to the 17. No place else to run from there. Special teamers will draw him down for the Canes. 1st and 10 Rattlers. They will give him progress to the 13 and make it the 16-yard line. And that's where they'll go 1st and 10 is Keith Brown will be back into the ball game. Weldon started. Brown came back in. Weldon's been back in. And like a yo-yo in and out of there for Ken Riley, and now it's Brown again.
Well, Keith Brown had problems, even more problems than Tracy Weldon with quarterback center exchange, and hopefully they've got that corrected, and we'll get a chance to see what he can do.
Brown with some big numbers against Georgia Southern in their opening game. Southern not able to figure out the deep drops for the Rattlers that day. Good bootleg drop for Brown, but he's not going to get away as the pursuit by Miami will drop him down, and that's going to be Warren Sept, number 76, excuse me. Sept, 6'3", 280, just a freshman redshirt, comes in to make the stop for Miami. They thought he was going to play a lot, and they're really happy about that.
Yeah, they're expecting big things from him. As you see here, Keith Brown gets back in the pocket, feels a little pressure, and here comes Sept, who is a converted tight end.
And a cheerleader at that. You see the numbers on him. Opopka, Florida. 286-3. Beating them well at the university. 2nd down, a gain of a yard in the last play. Brown back to throw, trying to scramble out of it. Guess what? Same combination. Sept, same celebration. And another gain of about 2 yards on the play. 3rd down, they'll need 7.
You know, here, on that last play, you see Sept doing a great job of just fighting the offensive blocker, but he has great vision. You know, most tackles, it's hard to fight off that blocker and make the play, but here he's got good vision, sees the quarterback coming out, makes the tackle.
8 yards, 8 plays, 42 yards, and a 37-yard field goal by Pruitt put the last 3 on the board for Miami, leading 31-0. And now with a 3rd down, and again, they gave him only about a yard in the play at 8. Here's the pass right over the middle to Mickens. Mickens will make the catch. Terry, the junior redshirt out of Tallahassee, only his 2nd catch of the day, and it may be enough for the 1st down. The official saying, yep, it is, and it's 1st down for the Rattlers. By the way, that will give them another 9 yards onto their 52, which is all they've had today. 61 yards total for the Rattlers compared to 353 for Miami today. You see the time left as we wind to the end, and this may be the final play of the 3rd period. As the Rattlers, Keith Brown from Gainesville will use all of the clock. Down to 6 seconds. Handoff, Reddick. After the 1st down, they will get near another one, a gain of about 8 yards. It'll be a 2nd and 2, and they'll have to do it in the 4th quarter. So the Hurricanes of Miami, #1 ranked in the country, going for their 46th consecutive home victory, their 20th in a row, the longest winning streak of NCAA college football. We'll try to continue to add to it in the 4th quarters. We'll return to the Orange Bowl in Miami. Again, our 3rd period score, the Hurricanes 31, the Rattlers 0. Back after this in a moment. Sunshine Network with Miami leading Florida A&M 31-0. Sam Smith, Nat Moore, and Joe Rose from the Orange Bowl. Again, the Canes trying to go 2-0, while the Rattlers came in at 2-zip. The best start ever under their head coach, Ken Riley. Back in the ball game is Keith Brown, throwing near sideline, caught, complete to Chad Fan. The tight end out for a 1st down for the Rattlers. And Nat Moore, you made an indication that Weldon looked a little tight, but Brown seems a lot looser against this Miami defense. Even though they're still playing some 1st teamers, they've got some 2nd teamers in there.
Yeah, I think Keith Brown here has a little bit more fluidness and has the ability to get out of traffic a little bit better than Tracy Weldon, so he feels a little bit more comfortable. And as you can see also, his passes have a little bit better touch than Tracy Weldon's did.
Total yardage so far, you see the big advantage for Miami. Brown throwing and just in and out of the hands. A good defensive stop over there. C.J. Richardson out of Dallas Spruce was the one that put the hit, number 19. On the intended receiver on the outside, who's making sure that all of his faculties are still there. That's Keith Kelly out of Plant City, Florida, number 85.
Very difficult catch for Keith Kelly. He goes up and he's trying to make a spectacular catch in between two defenders while getting popped. And that would have been one sensational catch if he'd have been able to hold on.
Richardson, Johnny on the spot for that one. The third-year sophomore, 6'1", 200, put the lick on him. Brown, a little delayed draw straight up the middle. They're trying to get Duffy some running room, and the running game working well right now as he'll gain about 7 or 8 yards out near midfield for the Rattlers. Francis makes the stop for Miami. It will bring up a third down, and they will need 2 for the first down.
You know, Sam, this is not that the Miami Hurricanes first-team defense, but it seems like with Keith Brown in there, the Rattlers seem to be a little bit more confident. They seem to come off the ball a little bit better. They seem to feel like they can get some things done.
They're using Wilson along with Paul White on the corner of the Canes. Richardson and Pearson are the deep backs defensively. Brown, the little quarterback keeper for the first down, and he goes into Canes territory down to the 47-yard line. So Keith Brown has indeed added a little wrinkle to the Rattlers offense here and racks up another first down.
Here's a team now that look like they've got some confidence. They come off the ball. Quick quarterbacks make good decisions which side to go, and Brown goes for the first down.
You have a feeling with that average of 286 pounds in the front line for Florida A&M that against this second unit, even though there's good size there for Miami, that size may be giving them problems right now.
Well, I think the size is giving Miami some problems, but when you start looking at the University of Miami's second team, they're just as talented as the first team.
Here's the throw intended for Mickens, kind of turned him around. He was looking over the right shoulder, had to turn completely to look over the left shoulder. The ball sailed by and out of his reach, and on with Marcus Carey. You know, Carey, number 48, is a great special teams player, and now getting an opportunity to play the strong safety spot.
Well, here you see Keith Brown going back in the pocket, feels the pressure, and he sprints out, and he's trying to get it off. And I think the errant pass was caused by Kenny Lopez putting pressure on him, making him throw it up and over.
You know, Lopez has been one of those guys in and out with Patrick Riley at the left tackle spot. He's getting some extra play time here today. Brown, the whistle sound, and the play clock may have caught Keith Brown as he may have taken too much time to get that play off. They might have another illegal formation. We'll see as the referees will sort it out here for us.
Dead ball. Encroachment on the offense.
Encroachment on the offense. So again, the Rattlers a little over anxious to try to get things going. This, by the way, is only the second time that Florida A&M had moved in to Miami territory all day long, and it looked like they had quite a drive going. Been stalled a bit now with a second down, and they'll need about 14 for the first. They get 15. Brown with a lone running back. He keeps it caught from behind and drops. Warren Sept catching him from behind, the 280-pound second-year freshman. Showing some pretty good quickness today.
Got good quickness, great speed. To be running down an option-type quarterback. Keith Brown was an option quarterback in high school, and I think that's one reason they feel a little bit more comfortable bringing him out of the pocket, throwing the football.
He did gain 4 on the play, brings up a 3rd and 11. Only a 2 for 10, 20% completion conversion record on 3rd down here for Florida A&M so far today. Brown back in the pocket, throws, batted in the air. That'll be intercepted. And indeed it is as the ball's up for grab. Bruce Herbst from Miami-Palmetto makes the intercept after the ball was batted in the air. Carey was the one that got a hand on it to bat it up. And Herbst is the man that comes down with it for Miami as the young man gets a big interception, and the Rattlers are turned away again as Miami will send some more new fresh faces in and go back on offense.
Well, here again, there's a good block by the fullback to pick up Sept here, and he just throws in the coverage. You know, you just can't do that with a team like Miami that always have people around the football.
There's a good look at Bruce, who made the intercept. By the way, credit where credit is due. Corwin Francis, number 58, was the one that got a hand on the ball. Here's a pass intended out on the left-hand side. Number 83 can't keep a hand on it. That's going to be Dietrich Clausel. Again, we'll get a lot of new faces as Frank Costa has replaced the injured Gino Torretta. A slightly separated left shoulder, second period. out of this ball game. Hopefully could be ready for Arizona. But again, we'll let the doctors and those that know those type things tell us about that. Tellison comes split to the right. Jones and Harris go split to the left. Costa back to throw. Throwing for Harris, well over his head and out of bounds. As Connor really put a lick on quarterback Frank Costa. And let's go down to Joe Rose. Joe?
Well, the good news is after this game, not only at halftime did we get to see the FAMU Marching 100 band play and perform, but they're going to be doing it after the game. So don't look for a lot of people to leave, because they'll be playing for another 12 minutes after the game.
And let's get this correct, Joe. You don't call him Mr. Maggard, by the way. His name is Dave. Okay.
Okay.
Interesting story there. Certainly Dave Maggard out at the University of California, where Joe Rose played his college ball. Very good friends there. Third down conversion, 6 of 14 for Miami. And Costa will try to improve as he throws. It's going to be great catch made. And that's going to be, I believe, Chris Jones. Let's see when he gets up. It is Jones. The 202-pound sophomore out of West Palm Beach makes an 11-yard reception and a third down conversion with a first down.
Another one of the afros. He's running a very simple curl route here. He goes down, he finds the hole in the defense, sits down, and here's just a great effort on his part to dive back, almost like a swimmer getting ready to make a dive and come down with the football.
Those Nat Moore hands, I tell you, Brett, that one right in. By the way, 8 of 13 for now 96 yards for Costa throwing for Miami. First down Canes near midfield. A delay on a fake. Costa throwing to Harris. Harris catch up with it just out of his reach. He had beaten Taylor but couldn't get there. Here's go back down to Joe.
Guys, real quickly here, the attendance, we were talking about possibly having 58 or 60,000. They actually had close to 74,000, the 12th largest attendance in Hurricane history here today.
Wow. And some of them are certainly diehard Cane fans, huh? Some of these guys and ladies are in trouble, I'm going to tell you that.
I just want to know which one of those are your kids.
None of those. I'm sure they probably would be in that group if they were here, though. By the way, Sebastian, the Ibis, has got to be somewhere around and keeping these kids all fired up today. Here is Ferguson, the talented freshman. Still on his feet as he dives down to the 35-yard line. And a flag thrown. And it's going to be a little extracurricular activity by the Canes in upfield blocking. And doing a little after the play is going to be Jesse Mitchell, offensive lineman. And again, a freshman out of Key West.
Dead ball. Personal foul against the offense. It'll be a first down, 25.
So again, after Ferguson had rambled for 26 yards and did it the last particularly 15 or 20 on his own, they get a foul here, and you see Jesse Mitchell getting some words at the sideline as he does come out of there after the penalty at the end of the play. Harris will take the play in, and this is interesting. Gino Toretto, when we talked to Rich Olson, the quarterback coach, he said that Gino gets the plays called from the sideline but has an absolute green light to make whatever call he wants out on the field.
You're talking about a 5-year senior that had a good day today, even though he hadn't played as much. 7 for 9, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, but his ability to come up and look at the defense and put their offense in the right situation, the perfect play, is the reason that the University of Miami having so much confidence in him doing those types of things.
You know, as you take a look at Costin, you saw a great play there. He fakes the handoff to Ferguson, who carried out the fake beautifully right up the middle. Costa's got a nice little sleight of hand trick. He kind of froze everybody and just kind of right back to the pocket and throws, but it's incomplete on throwing to Jones.
Right. He does a great job of showing the football, showing pass, but then faking the draw by hiding the football. And he just, ball was a little too toughly thrown, a little too hard. The receiver wasn't able to handle it. I'm not going to talk bad about a receiver.
No, but probably Costa thought something bad about it. Brings up a second down, 10 for the Cane. Make that second down at 25 after that penalty. Costa's going to be dropped for a big loss. So the defense, Darryl Smith once again for the Rattlers. The 6', 195 senior redshirt out of Plant City. And the strong safety comes hard for a 16-yard loss as Costa's dropped, and now they need a roadmap for the first down.
There's a good job of Smith coming in, and Costa's having to pull it down and making a good decision not to try and throw the football, to take the sack. the Rattlers have not given up. They're down 31-zip at this point. They could throw the towel in and say this game doesn't matter, but they're playing for pride. They're not giving up, and they're still coming after the University of Miami.
They're at their own 32. They have to get to the 27-yard line in Rattler territory for a first down. Nearly half the football needed. And a long throw. They're throwing up the far sideline, and it's going to be short of the intended receiver over there, Copeland, with two defenders back there, Riley for one and William Carroll the other. But Copeland was in there for the home run bomb. He, along with Spencer, were running the route for Costa, but he just didn't get it there. So it brings up a punt time, and Paul Schneider, I believe this is only his third punt of the day, will be kicking it away for the Canes. Averaging 34 yards. Costa, I know, a little disappointed. He has to think back to the Jones pass. There was an opportunity, but again, the end of the long run by Ferguson, a 15-yarder, really hurt him on the personal foul.
Well, early in the beginning of the ball game, the Rattlers hurt themselves, and
this is Bridges. Bridges on the punt return takes it all the way back into Miami territory. Only the third time they've been there today. An excellent field position at the 39 as the Rattlers will try to get something on the board against the #1 Canes. 9:44, fourth quarter, Miami 31, Florida A&M 0. Back in a moment.
Fall in Florida means football. And in October, the season's in full swing on Sunshine. Kick off the month with coast-to-coast conference collisions from the ACC, Pac-10, SEC, Big A, SWC, and more. The Canes are crying back-to-back, while the Noles are knocking them down with dominating D. Plus, you make the call on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Or for a change of pace, get on the Fast Track Thursday. Sunshine in October, a Florida tradition. It's the Anheuser-Busch Family Fitness Weekend, presented by Sports Authority. Be a part of the Bud Light Spreadman Triathlon, the Michelob Light Cool Summer Nights 5K, Bud Dry Inline Skate Series, or the Czech Sprint Kids Tri Duathlons. The Family Fitness Weekend is coming to Orlando September 25th through 27th at SeaWorld. Your local Sports Authority has entry information, or call Exclusive Sports Marketing today. The Anheuser-Busch Family Fitness Weekend. Go for the gold.
This is where there is no local grocery. This is where there is no food to go home to. This is where the children go hungry. But thanks to an organization called CARE, this is also where millions who once faced starvation are now being fed. In his homeland of Africa, the NBA's Manute Bol has seen that a little care can make a world of difference.
Show that you care.
Well, this has been all Miami, 31-0 here in the fourth quarter. A loss in 79 to Florida A&M, a big win in 80. Let's go down to Joe Rose.
Yeah, guys, I just want to talk a little bit about the Orange Bowl and the improvements made. They spent $17 million to improve and renovate the Orange Bowl. I want to take a shot here, if we can, down on the grass, which is held up very well today. And I know that the University of Miami is very happy with it. It's really held very well today.
Joe Rose, the turf man. It's a 1st and 10 after a 29-yard punt return by Bridges, setting up excellent field position for the Rattlers as they try to bang the ball in the middle. Get it down to the 36-yard line. They're running again with Reddick, along with Duffy, Mitchell, and Vidal. And Vidal getting the call as he carries it inside. Derek Harris from Willow Ridge, Texas, a 6'2" freshman. Red shirt in there to make the stop. The third deep of the middle linebackers for Miami. 2nd down, 6 yards to go for the Rattlers. Looking pass, Meekins drops the football. He had a handle on it, but then lost it as he turned and looked right into the face of number 9. That's Chad Wilson on the corner, who made the lick, and he couldn't hang on to the ball.
He just simply took his eyes off the football, and you'll see them run sort of a screen route, a little pick play. He comes in, he looks it in, then he takes his eyes off because he's looking for that hit. He knows it's coming.
3rd down, 6 for the Rattlers. While we were away, Nat made a great point as far as the program at Florida A&M. Boy, what a feather in their cap to at least come and trail 31-0, but have a chance to score here in the 4th. And there's the ball on the ground again. Nobody sees it for the moment. It's up for grabs, and Miami will have recovered their 3rd fumble of the day. And that has been the self-destruct for the Rattlers as Warren Sept will make the fumble recovery. The big freshman from Opaka, Florida, will make the recovery for the Canes, and the Rattlers are thrown back again.
Once again, quarterback-center exchange. Every play starts with that offensively, and they're just, I can't tell whether the quarterback's pulling out or the center's raising up. It could be either or, but that's been their nemesis the entire day. That stopped them more than the Hurricanes have.
Again, the Canes will come with another quarterback. We'll pick it up in a moment as the handoff goes straight over the middle to Ferguson. And the third quarterback is Ryan Collins. Collins, a second-year freshman from Pembroke Pines, highly at Miami Lakes High School, is the third quarterback of the afternoon, and another one that they feel they have a great opportunity to groom into a possible heir apparent here at Miami. Certainly Costa is the next in line behind Torretta so far. Connor making the stop for the Rattlers. Ferguson gaining 4, second down and 6 for Miami. Line of scrimmage, their 41-yard line. Collins rolling to the 45. Will step nimbly out of bounds just after he gets enough yardage for the first down as he goes out of bounds at the 49. Shows some good foot speed as he gets away from the tackler.
Excellent foot speed. It looked like at the point of attack, as far as the blocking up front, they had some miscommunication. You had a couple of linemen going in opposite direction. You'll see number 74 is pulling one way, and the other guys are pulling the other way. And I think he was supposed to be the guy out blocking on Collier to give the quarterback a little bit more time to throw the football.
Well, speaking of Erwin Collier, he has indeed been running all over this football field. The fine left end, a transfer from Alabama. Their number 1 tackler, and there's flags thrown all over the place, is again Collins.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
Changing the cadence just a bit, and of course the offensive lineman trying to pick up the third quarterback call, even though most of these guys have not been in there earlier in the game. By the way, K.C. Jones, a fine freshman out of Midland, Texas, got an injured thumb and had surgery. He will officially be redshirted. He was listed as the backup to Green today, but again injured the thumb in practice and is out and will be redshirted this year. Here's the pass by Collins intended for Jones. Threw it a little quicker than Jones was ready to make the catch, and it's helplessly thrown. By the way, Costa, who probably is through for the day, finished with an 8 for 16 afternoon for 96 yards for his numbers.
Very, very good showing for Frank Costa's 8 for 16, 96 yards, and could have been better. Had a couple drop balls, and then he missed some receivers, but overall, a good showing for Costa.
Kerry Baker back in the 70s, one of the outstanding black athletes who have been at quarterback, and of course Collins hoping to file right in is one of the good ones here. Hands off to Ferguson to midfield to the 45, and I tell you what, this guy has got some vision when he gets in the open field. It's short of a first down by about 2.5 yards, but a great run again by the freshman Ferguson, 13 yards, and even Sebastian the Ibis is trying to get the Army still involved here. Well, what a nice-looking freshman here.
Yeah, Ferguson is a very talented young freshman football player, but if you notice, his feet very low to the ground, and that's why he can make those quick, short cuts. Quick movement, able to change direction in a hurry. Good open field runner.
Akabala, by the way, from Orlando Jones High School, made the stop for the Rattlers. It's a third down and short yardage. Ferguson will take care of the first down and then some as he bangs his way inside the 40-yard line. Connor, the middle linebacker, is the one that got a hold of him, but couldn't wrap up those churning feet. So we're looking at a lot of the future players for the Canes. Not to say that they can't contribute this year, but certainly down the road, Ferguson, just a freshman. Frank Costa, the sophomore we saw. We're taking a look at, of course, the Collins, who's the freshman quarterback running the show right now. Several other youngsters getting an opportunity to get some play time under their belt. They're trying to isolate Ferguson on the near side. On a linebacker, he gets enough to get to the 35, a gain of 3, and is knocked out of bounds. Carroll's the one that made the stop.
Sam, it almost looked like they're featuring Ferguson, trying to get him as much experience as possible in a game of this nature, because he's the guy of the future as far as that breakaway runner. They've got the big power backs that can do a lot of things for him, but they don't have that elusive back, and he could be that for the Hurricanes program.
Well, in the pros, they'd call that showcasing for a possible trade, but boy, they'd love to keep him right here at the University of Miami, certainly. Ferguson, look at him run in the open field. just tripped up off his feet, dives it up for the first down inside the 25, and showcasing indeed of the young man Danielle Ferguson of Columbus High of Miami.
He's a step from going all the way here. He comes through there once again, a big hole by that offensive line. The offensive line is just has done a phenomenal job all day. Here you see a big gaping hole. He comes through. Look at the footwork. Tackled by a shoestring.
Keeps running like that. Andrew Oskowski, our statistician, having a little trouble keeping all of the numbers on this guy. He can run up a ton on you in a hurry. Ferguson, the lone running back behind Collins. They say, let's try it one more time. Will not get out of the grasp that time of Connor for too many yards. But again, you saw the ever-present try. I got to get away from him. Keep pulling, keep tugging, and good strength to do so.
The second effort is what you look for in great backs. You know, when you're talking about your great backs, usually your good offensive line will give you a 2-yard, 3-yard push. But that good back can take it the length. And he has that kind of ability, as we can see here. Great ability to cut back.
And, of course, that second effort gained him a couple of yards. Second down and 8. Collins looking to throw to Harris. Jonathan steps away from one tackler, shy of a first down by 2 yards. As Dixon's the man that knocked him off his feet. Taylor was over there to help out as well.
Jonathan Taylor is probably one of the smallest players on the Hurricane football team, but he's also the gutsiest one. You know, he's a guy that doesn't back down from any competition, any contact.
Harris at 5'9", 165, a sophomore, had caught 3 passes for 57 yards, a 19-yard average in the win over Iowa 24-7 2 weeks ago at Iowa City. Ferguson goes for the first down. He's got that at the 10. Tries to spin. He does to the 9. Well, they tried to string out that defense, and you know the Rattler defense is nowhere close to being as deep as the Canes defensively. And they're stringing them east, north, and south and trying to go, at the moment, to the east end zone.
Once again, just a sweep to the right. And Ferguson just, you know, he's got so much speed that he's able to just outrun the defender because the defender wasn't solidly blocked at that point of attack.
By the way, Jesse Mitchell, who got that personal foul at the end of a long Ferguson run, is back in there blocking it. Offensive right tackle. Collins looking to the end zone, throws the ball batted in the air on a first down and goal to go, and batted away. It'll bring up a second down play. They had gone trips to the left and were going to the right side and trying to get the ball to the near sideline. Ingram, the man that knocked the ball away, number 75, 6'1", 270.
They're running a play action, trying to get the ball to the big tight end, number 81, Sil Tucker.
By the way, number 95, Rod Williams, a freshman from Madison, was the one who knocked it away. Number 95 roaming the middle there for the Rattlers. Flag is down on this second down play. Ferguson trying to call it on the inside. 31-0 is our score. Dennis Erickson and his staff looking on. Tellison will bring the play into Collins, the young freshman quarterback. Clock is stopped with 4:39 to go. Step off against the Canes. Out to the 14-yard line. 5-yard step off. We saw Lamar Thomas had come in there momentarily. They were going to try to let Collins throw to Thomas if they could. Instead, they go with Jones and Tellison to the left, and in the slot is Jonathan Harris. Ferguson in motion. He'll come to the short side. Nobody back there blocking if it's needed. And throw it over the middle. They tried to isolate Ferguson again. Got his hand on the football at about the 7, but couldn't hang on. Smith, again, the strong safety, made the first hit on Ferguson with his hand on the ball.
I'll tell you, Darren Smith has played a fine football game, even in a losing effort, if we can go as far as to say that at this point.
Sure.
But he's one of the guys defensively that is still hanging in there. He's still giving it his all and just will not quit, will not say die.
Well, it's a 3rd down and goal to go. Again, at the 14-yard line, Miami drops straight back Collins. He has to run out of pressure, being chased to the far sideline. Collins on his feet at the 10, to the 5, and knocked out of bounds just inside. No, they'll give him the 5-yard line. It'll bring up a 4th and goal at the 5, but a flag is down back across the field. Right at the 5-yard line is where the flag is down. Acapulco making the stop.
Holding on the defense.
Well, a holding against Miami. Let's go back down to Joe Rose. Joe?
Thank you very much, guys. With me, one of the biggest, well, I should say heroes here in South Florida, Sebastian the Ibis with me. And I just wanted to ask you, talk about big hits, guys. 2 weeks ago, Sebastian, you took a big hit. How are you holding up? Pretty good? Okay, he's out. You said... Oh, he's just telling me happy 41st birthday to Nat Moore. I didn't realize today was Nat's birthday. Happy birthday, Nat.
You dog, you held that up. You weren't going to tell us today, were you? Way to go, Joe. Way to dig down there, pal.
I owe you, Joe.
Well, the referees are trying to sort this out. Again, a penalty against the defense. There we are, high above. As a matter of fact, we are so high. And congratulations, happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you very much, Sam.
We are so high, I think we can almost see Tallahassee from here. We're under the orange canopy atop the press box. Our thanks to the University of Miami, of course, for their hospitality, and all of the folks at Florida A&M as well for their efforts in getting our ball game underway today. So again, a defensive foul against the Rattlers will take it half the distance of the goal line from the 5 to the 2.5. And it'll bring up a 3rd down play. So they've got a 3rd and goal to go at the 2.5-yard line. And now Collins says, I don't like the call. I'm going to call a timeout, and so will we. A 31-0 lead by the Canes, trying to go for their 46th consecutive home victory. Back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Jack LaLanne, and I've developed a better way to get in shape. It's my new Jack LaLanne stepper, and it's guaranteed to strengthen firm and tone your body into shape faster than ever. It's sensational. Look, my stepper has been designed to target the muscles in your hips and buttocks, thighs and calves, so every step is more effective. Burn body fat faster, lose calories, and develop firm, shapely muscles with one incredible exercise machine. Best of all, my stepper is so simple to use. Simply adjust the dial to your fitness level. Increase the stair height for an intense workout. Get the maximum workout in minimum time. Now through Telebrand, you can own the Jack LaLanne stepper for only 3 easy payments of $29.95. And if you order now, I'll also include this special instructional video. That's a $20 value, absolutely free. You know, there is a better way. The Jack LaLanne stepper.
Call 1-800-652-2112. 3 payments of $29.95 or send $89.85 plus $9.95 shipping. Sorry, no CODs accepted.
Conference rivals collide on the top turf. TCU meets SMU in the SWC, or South Carolina battles Kentucky in the SEC. Live next Saturday on Sunshine.
2 touchdown passes from Torretta to Thomas. And a couple of running touchdowns, one by Jones, one by Bennett, and a 37-yard field goal by Pruitt have accounted for the 31-0 score on the board so far. And Miami is now with a 3rd and goal to go here at the Orange Bowl against Florida A&M. And again, it is freshman quarterback Ryan Collins, number 8, has Marucci going in motion to the right side. Collins on the 3rd down play. Touchdown! Kevin Kirkcaldy will make the touchdown grab, the senior out of Jacksonville. And the Canes will go up by the score of 37-0 with a point after to come.
Let's take another look at the slow-mo replay. A little rollout action, a little pass run. And you see Kevin Kirkcaldy just goes up, catches the ball, looks like a basketball player, going up strong, snatching it out of the air.
Well, at 6'4", 230, he probably did play some hoops along the way. Pruitt will kick it up. And the Canes will add the extra point with 3:56 left to go in the game. Kirkcaldy has made it now a 38-0 lead as Miami leads going to the final moments.
There are times, Andy said, when it's best to play it safe.
Here for the swamp tour?
Especially when on safari in the Everglades. 14,000 square miles of alligators, snakes, and frogs that bite. So Andy suggested the great-tasting Old Milwaukee non-alcoholic. It's got to get better than this, I said, as Gil, our guide, took us butt cruising for the day. Good thing for a cold old mill NA. There's enough exhilaration already in the Everglades. And hey, you don't want to end up as gator bait.
At the Olive Garden, at the end of every generous bowl of crisp garden salad, every bountiful basket of soft, fresh-baked breadsticks, and every warm, friendly smile, you will always find another, and another, and another. Because at the Olive Garden, the word generosity begins with a G, but ends only when you are happy. The Olive Garden Italian restaurant, where all the best of Italy is yours.
There's a simple reason why Janet Haley makes such a good Eckerd greeting card specialist. She just knows people. That's why she personally updates the card selection at least 3 times a week to make sure there's one that says exactly what you want in Eckerd's 10,000 cards from American Greetings. Because Janet knows that everyone in the world is different, and everyone is the same. They all love getting that one perfect card. There are thousands of ways to say it, and Eckerd has them all.
38-0 lead by the Hurricanes. You see the time left, less than 4 minutes to play, as the Canes will be kicking off again after another scoring drive, engineered by rookie Collins here. What a catch in the end zone.
Great catch by Kevin here. Goes up real strong in the middle of traffic, comes down with the football.
13 plays in 63 yards over 5 minutes. Nice drive. Taking over 5 minutes to score, and the Canes will be kicking off. It'll be Michael Swartz, a sophomore from Coral Springs, will be kicking off. A low squibber to the far sideline. It'll hop out of bounds, and Florida A&M again, as Cockrell was there to field it, but out of bounds. They'll get it at the 35-yard line if that be the option they take. Ken Riley and his staff. Here's the referee again. Buddy Ward and his staff have had quite a day. By the way, a mixed crew.
We have an illegal procedure. Kick out of bounds. Ball will be taken on the 35-yard line.
By the way, our crew from the Big East Conference, along with the conference, the MEAC, excuse me, for the Florida A&M. And they quite obviously splitting the crews, which is a little unusual sometimes. They try to keep the crews as much together as they can, but in this situation, they made a good mix, and they've done a good job here today.
They've done a real good job today, and you know, when you talk about this game here, it being the Orange Blossom Classic, the 60th meeting, and playing a Hurricane home game, it's almost like a double home game. And I think it was only fair that they made that concession.
Well, of course, there's no surprise to find the Rattlers on the road. They've even played some of their home games in Orlando. They play in Tampa. They will play actually in Atlanta, and that is almost like, well, that's one of their home games if they're playing in Atlanta against Tennessee State next week.
For a Division I AA school, they've got a tremendous following all over the country, and that's one reason they can do that. They can travel all over the state. They go to Atlanta, as you say, and they have a big following that travels behind them.
Quarterback is Brown. Hand off straight ahead. No place to run to. Bass is going to be the first one. No, let's correct that. Let's get the right number here. Number 59, the one making the stop, and that's going to be Corus Hardy will make the stop for Corey's Hardy for Miami.
There you see,
yeah,
Mr. Sept. We've been calling his name all day. He comes down the line, and he's the first one to make the big hit. And I'll tell you, he's played a phenomenal football game as well today.
Well, Joe Rose has been busy downstairs, Joe.
Yeah, guys, Coach Erickson is really happy to get out here, obviously, with a big win today at 38-0 right now. But also, we got a chance to play a lot of reserve football players today. A lot of the second and third teamers got a chance to play, and they may be needed later on in the season. So that's really nice.
Brown going to be sacked from behind, and that's short. Will come up and make the stop from behind as Brown was looking to the near sideline, but had no place to throw to. A 6-yard loss, and with 2:16 and the clock winding, it'll be Florida A&M kicking the ball away again.
Here's a good look at Baraka coming short, coming around from the backside, and Brown never sees him. He pulls it down, and he's hit from the backside. Lucky the ball didn't come out.
Baraka, by the way, a defensive end, 6'3", 235, from Opelika, Norland High School, one of the Vikings over there. Minute 53 to play, and it's Brown to kick it away here for the Rattlers. Jonathan Harris is back in. Here comes an attempted block. McNeil was there, and Brown's going to have to run for his life. It won't be enough for the first down. He's down at the line of scrimmage. And as McNeil scared the life out of him coming for the block, it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Canes as they'll have the ball at their 30, but there's a flag down. Well, apparently they picked up the flag, so no flag is down with 1:39 to play. A 38-0 lead by Miami, and they'll have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line. We'll be back with more of our coverage on Sunshine Network of Miami Hurricane football after this timeout.
Florida's high school heroes, the state's top squad. Don't miss the action as today's prep stars lead their schools to victory. The high school football game of the week.
Sarasota and Manatee, Wednesday night at 8 on Sunshine Network.
Hi, this is Scott Mitchell with the Miami Dolphins. We'd encourage you to go out and support the relief effort with Hurricane Andrew. And if you have any help or would you like to contribute, please call this number you see on your screen.
Listen up, Miami Dolphin fan. It's time to air it out with your favorite gridiron heroes every Monday night on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine. Give them a call and see the game from their eyes.
I'm Paul Kennedy. The season's underway. This coming Monday, we'll review the game with the Rams and preview the Dolphins' trip to Seattle here on Sunshine.
Air it out with the pros who know on the Miami Dolphins Monday Night Magazine.
Live Monday night at 7 on Sunshine Network.
Well, a good look at the downtown skyline of Miami. It, along with South Dade, hammered by Hurricane Andrew, but it didn't hold off. More than 74,000 fans, 74,292, who've come out for the home opener for Miami. That's the 12th largest crowd in the history of the university. And they've seen all they wanted today with a 38-0 lead. Sam Smith, Nat Moore, Joe Rose on Sunshine Network. Our inaugural coverage of Canes football, and what a nice way to get it started. This is Collins again, the freshman quarterback. Freshman running back is Ferguson. They run it down to the 29-yard line, a gain of 2 by Ferguson, and they wind the clock with 1:30. Joe made a good point a moment ago that the Canes are able to play a lot of players in this ball game. And the way they work out and kind of battle each other for moving up against the starters, it's a good thing they get some play time, because it does say, hey, we're going to reward you for working hard in practice.
Right. It's an opportunity for the young guys to get some experience and to hit somebody else other than their teammates.
Ryan Collins, third quarterback used today. Ferguson, look at the blocks in the corner. He makes his own room as he moves it down to the 23-yard line. Short of a first down by a pair. Well, the blocking was kind of stringing the defense out, which they've done most all day long here for Miami.
They're just getting a hat on everyone and then letting the back pick their own hole. And a guy like Ferguson has that ability, so he's going to be extremely successful as long as they block the way they've been doing so far today.
Number 27, William Carroll, the free safety. Carroll came into this ball game needing only a couple of intercepts to become the all-time Rattler intercept leader. Didn't get a chance at him today. The Canes threw where he was not. 21 seconds to go in the game. Collins to Ferguson. Got a hole. Fights his way for the first down. They'll stop the clock momentarily. Move the chains to the 17-yard line, and with 14 seconds to go. The Canes leading it 38-0. Honeycutt for the Rattlers make the stop. Don't forget the Rattlers will go against Tennessee State next week. While Miami right back here in the Orange Bowl against Arizona. By the way, for you Hurricane fans, they had perishable goods today. They will accept donations for the Hurricane people next week at the Orange Bowl as the clock runs out, and there's the final score. So as Dennis Erickson and Ken Riley exchange their congratulations at midfield, the Miami Hurricanes have once again prevailed on their home field. 46 straight home victories. 20 consecutive wins, the longest in college football. And Dennis Erickson and staff, good start today, Nat Moore, for the Canes.
Good start for the Canes here at home, but you know, the thing that everybody wanted to look for was a blowout, and you didn't see that today. And you also saw the class of the Hurricanes by not running the score up.
Well, domination of the Canes on both sides of the football, defensively in particular. Another shutout for them as they turn back the Rattlers at Florida A&M University. And again, you see a lot of these guys played against each other in high school, and now they're playing each other in college. But today, despite the fact that Gino Toretta goes out with a slightly separated shoulder, it was a big win today for the Miami Hurricanes. They again win it by the score of 38-0 over the Rattlers. Back at the Orange Bowl with our final comments after this timeout. And by the Hurricanes over the Rattlers, let's go back downstairs to Joe Rose. Joe?
Thank you guys very much. I have Coach Erickson. Congratulations, Coach, on a nice win today.
Yeah, we played real well on defense and played well in the first half offensively, and it was kind of like I thought it was going to go, but I think we made improvement in some areas, and we'll have to look at the video, but it was a good win, and I got to give FAMU credit. They played real hard and played as hard as they could play, and I'm sure they're going to do well in 1AA, and we made some improvement in the game.
I got to put you on the spot for just a second. How hard is it to get your team up when you're playing a team that's not ranked?
Well, it's a little bit hard, but I mean, you got to play the game. The game's there, and I thought we came out and played real well in the first half, and particularly defensively. And I thought Gino played well, and then he got injured a little bit. But it was a game for us. And now we just got to go on with the season.
Okay, how about Coach Toretta? How about Gino Toretta?
Well, I think he just sprained his left shoulder. He could have played, but we pulled him out, and just got to get him ready for next week. But it's a little bit of a bruise on his left shoulder is what they tell me right now.
Thank you very much, Coach, for being with us.
Okay, Joe, thank you.
Okay.
Well, if there's brighter news than the 38-0 final score, it's the comments from Coach Dennis Erickson. As again, Gino Toretta, maybe just a bum shoulder, but not a separated shoulder. They win it 38-0. Nat, Joe, and I'll return with final comments in a moment. A great portion of the 74,000 plus have filed out of here with the Canes. Number one, winning their 46th in a row at home and their 20th consecutive victory, 38-0, defeating Florida A&M University. Sam Sept along with Nat Moore. And even though we got to look at a lot of new players, the reemergence of Stephen McGuire was really a plus today, I thought, for the Canes.
Well, without a doubt, to get Stephen McGuire back, he's been a leader on offense. He's the big back for him throughout the last year and the year prior. And also to play as many young guys as they did, today was a very good showing considering the minor injuries that they got today.
Well, some big numbers on the board again for the Hurricanes against the Rattlers today. And you take a look at it, 434 total yards, 274 in the air by Toretta, Costa, and also Collins, the three quarterbacks. But look what the defense did today. Only 94 total yards given up.
Well, you're talking about last year's #1 defense in the country, and they've got the catalyst of that defense back with the linebackers. So the linebackers were big today. The defensive linemen played big, but more so, FAMU Rattlers hurt themselves with the exchange from the quarterback center.
They had 5 turnovers that really cost them. Joe Rose is down amongst again the marching 100. Let's go for his final comments, Joe.
Well, first of all, I just want everybody to know we got a great band behind us. A lot of the players have come back out on the field. But just to say what Coach Erickson had said to me earlier, you know, the big thing is Gino Toretta is not hurt badly, which is good news. They play Arizona, which has kind of a weak team right now, here in the Orange Bowl next week. The following week, they play Florida State. So Gino Toretta actually has 2 weeks to get healthy enough to play at full speed.
Thanks, Joe. Nice job from down on the field. And Joe will be right there again as next week we'll be right back in here. The Wildcats of Arizona will come calling on the Miami Hurricanes. That'll be coming up next week right here at the Orange Bowl in Miami. Our final score once again tonight is the Hurricanes 38, the Rattlers 0. For Joe Rose and Nat Moore, Sam Smith saying thanks for joining us. So long from the Orange Bowl. Sunshine Network has presented University of Miami Hurricane Football. Brought to you by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. And by the Olive Garden Restaurants, where all the best of Italy is yours.